Hey guys, it's me, Gillinor. We're I'm just coming at you live from the interwebs, I suppose. I don't know. Yeah. So I decided that we're going to be live streaming my game here for my homebrew campaign. It's been going for a little while, but I decided that you didn't miss much. So it's not a big deal that you are coming in so late. But yeah, maybe we'll get into the details of what happened previously in the campaign. But for now, we're just gonna kind of jump right into it and get a. Well, first, let's go ahead and do the thing about the stuff and the disclaimer. So, Mary, if you can go ahead and do that for us, and Cause, if you can go ahead and take us over to that screen.
The following presentation may and most likely will contain strong adult language, graphic descriptions of excessive violence, possibly sexual themes, other scary stuff, and on top of that a Scotsman, which may be disturbing for some audience. So please viewer discretion is advised. Are you sure you want to do that as an official fan content permitted under the fan content policy, not approved endorsed by Wizards? Portions of the materials are property of the Wizards of the Coast. Thank you.
Thank you. uh,
Back to you, Gil.
So, hello, it's me again. So- oh boy. Kazu, can you go ahead and just take us to the map view, please? I'm gonna go ahead and just share the map of where we're at currently. So yeah, we're gonna go through and introduce characters here. We'll start with Kazi. So Kazi, can you introduce your character, Mary?
Yeah, Kazi is a very tall and muscular woman that seems to always have an resting bitch face and be unhappy with almost everything that happens around her, except for when at the end of the day she can kick her legs up and enjoy some fine wine and a cheese platter. She wears a heavy armor with a big ass sword and big ass shield, and she has brown hair kind of to her shoulders. She's not the prettiest chick out there, but that's her.
Awesome. And Marcus, describe your character. What would people see looking at him?
Markus is a changeling, but he is currently in the form of a human. He has medium length black hair, pencil mustache. He wears studded leather armor. He has a pistol on his hip and a magic lute on over his back.
Awesome. And Impa, describe your snake.
Impa is Johan's familiar, who is just a small gem-like looking snake that's bright blue, and she's cool. I like her.
Nice. And Sarai, describe your character, please.
So Sarai is covered basically head to toe in fairly nice clothing. She is a spellcaster. You can just kind of see some horns peeking out of her head gear, as well as a sort of devil's tail coming out of her back. But she's joined the party a little bit later than some of the rest.
Okay. And Thork, describe your character, please.
He's a fuck.
I think.
Jeez.
If we can confirm that Kazo's audio comes through on stream too, that'd be great. Because then I want to make sure that everyone can hear him. He's not talking right now, but when he does.
Let's see if this works. Maybe if it's not Whoops.
Very quiet, they said.
Damn it.
Don't know what you did last time, but we got to get that going again.
Oh fuck! Now I need to read
Okay, we'll skip you for now and come back to you. We'll pass you up and then come back. Thork is basically a wee old dwarf with a big red nose, wearing glasses. He's got a bunch of scars, a big scar across his head, and he looks old as hell. He's also a werewolf. So Jahan, describe your character, please, and then we'll circle back to Kazo.
All right. Jahan is a high elf noble knight from the elven city of Araglad, and he's a fairly tall, lean, and um, dark-skinned elf with medium-length dreads, decorated dreads behind his back, trained in the tradition of blade singing, and he's on a journey to help the royalty back in Araglad and save it from the council.
All right. And lastly is Doctor. So Doctor is a well-dressed individual. He has a very nice sort of silken shirt, vest, and sort of one of those I wouldn't say ties, but sort of silk thing that goes around the neck. I don't know what they're called exactly.
Scarf.
Mascot.
A scarf. Yeah, I think like an ascot kind of, but not like a Scooby-Doo ascot kind of, but different. And he has circular glasses and sort of short blonde hair with almost yellow eyes. He's very pale as well, as he is a vampire. So this campaign has gone on for a little bit. I'll give a very quick thorough through, and maybe later on I'll do a video describing everything that's happened in the campaign for you guys to watch. Effectively, the adventure started with murders happening in the city of Edgeville, which is the capital of my country, Devamut. The country is ruled over mostly by a man named King Dragon, Carpathia. He has been a recluse for almost 300 years and no one has seen him, apart from the 5 guards that work underneath him. These guards are quite busy in the city, and they didn't have time to deal with the murders, so the adventurers took it upon themselves to track down the murderer and find out what was happening. Over the course of a few sessions, they discovered that the murderer was in fact a vampire by the name of Banner Law. In the city of Edgeville, it is against the law to kill a vampire. They did this anyways. They fought Banner Law, killed him, tracked him through his tunnels underneath the city, and killed him again. Because in my lore, vampires have to be killed twice. First, when they're away from their coffin, and a second time at their coffin while they're sort of healing back up, and when they're vulnerable. They killed the vampire, and as they were sort of celebrating, quote unquote, relaxing, winding down from the events of what had happened, everything froze around them. And as they looked up, they realized that they were the only ones moving, apart from one other individual who introduced himself as king. He was a bit of an ass, but in sort of fairness, they did break a law that would result in execution of all of them. So I think he was a little fair in that regard. He effectively told them that instead of executing them, he would use them as he pleased. They were now his to command and only his. His only command really was to compete in the tournament that was coming up. So they decided they were going to do that. But in the meantime, they did a few other quests. They helped an old man try to save his sister from certain death. They went into the woods of the Darkwood in order to try to find an ashen tree. They faced a creature in the village of Dunwick that was a shapeshifter and took on many forms. And they eventually, while convincing the werewolves to let them pass, as the werewolves guarded the ashen tree, they made their way to the ashen tree and collected several samples of bark and sap and whatever else they may need. They brought it back to the apothecary, who was the man that asked them to do the job. And they found out that the man had been directed by someone else to find these adventurers, and that they would help him. In return, he would give them a book. They gave him what he had requested, and he began making a potion to try to help his sister. He gave them the book, and they found out that this book was tied to something called the Second Visitation. In this world, the Visitation is sort of an event that happened that was very catastrophic. It was massive. It was horrible. Bunch of people died. It essentially put the world back into a dark age. So a second visitation certainly wouldn't be welcomed. They found in this book that their names were mentioned, and it seemed that the story was constantly being written as it was playing out. And that things had already been written in the book and seemed to have been set in stone in a way. But the future is unwritten, and that's for the adventurers to sort of write. They then gave the potion to the woman who they found out was infected by an illness. They don't know exactly what the illness is yet, but they found out that giving her the potion escalated the illness and making it worse. There were these other creatures that the adventurers had faced as they were investigating the murders. They call them the Black Bloods, the White Walkers, different names like this. They're essentially white creatures that are hairless and genderless with black veins, and they spawn from an entity called the Man in Black. They don't know much about them yet, apart from that they're bad and that the werewolves are fighting them currently in the Darkwood. They ended up defeating this creature, killing it, and burning its corpse. They ended up then going into the tournament where King Dragon, for the first time in 300 years, was present to the public. He watched the tournament play out. The reward for first place was quite a lot of money and the chance to actually fight King Dragon in a one-on-one combat. Also, for winning first place, you got a favor from King Dragon, which is quite impressive. Kazi, the Dragon Knight of the group, won and ended up getting the opportunity to face King Dragon. But King Dragon decided that he wanted to change the rules. Instead of a one-on-one fight, he allowed Kazi to bring whoever she wanted to face him. She brought her whole group of individuals, and King Dragon handily beat them all by himself. In the end, he gave Kazi her reward, which was a magic item, which was armor for her dragon that would grow as he grew. And when asked a favor, which I can't remember what the favor was exactly.
The favor was she asked him to help Jahan.
So the favor that she asked was for him to help Jahan. So he said, okay, I'll help you. You all go with Jahan. That's how I'll help him. And so his favor has been done and dealt with. Now the adventurers here have joined Jahan to head to Araglad, where in Araglad there is something brewing. The adventurers don't know quite what yet. Jahan knows a little more, but perhaps we'll all get to that when we get there. So we're starting the campaign this session in Edgeville, the capital city of Devamut. You guys have just asked your favor of Dragon and been bamped out of his keep. You have your armor for Malagos, Kazi. So what would you all like to do now that you've asked your favor and gotten your rewards and all of that good stuff?
Curse the heavens above.
See, what have you done?
I'm so sorry, Kazi. I had no idea the king was a scoundrel.
I told you he's an asshole. That's why I wanted to beat his ass.
You're right. It seems there's political corruption in every corner.
Is it really political corruption, though? I mean, it was just kind of him taking advantage of the situation.
Well, at least I have a
Yes.
lesson. I tried being nice to Jahan once. Never gonna try it again.
I don't think that that's the lesson to be taken away from this.
I think that's the lesson. Well, it's the lesson I learned.
Right. Well, if you all will help me, I seem to have very little options left, and there's not much time.
So, what exactly is going on in Everglad, if I might ask?
Yeah, you mentioned something about a council member and espionage. So, what are we killing, like public officials or something?
If we can help it, it's preferable not to kill anybody. It's more of a. The higher ups, the royal family, can't act on their own against the council. They're going to need outsiders. If anybody of the royal family tries to uncover it, it'll just look
And
like.
what exactly is this council doing?
In due time, let us all prepare, and I'll tell you all when we head out.
Why can't the queen just fire the council?
Jahan, why can't the queen just fire the council?
Because the queen is just a figurehead. She's the
Okay,
face.
okay, but even if she is like only like a quarter of like how strong King Dragon is, I'm pretty sure she can basically just
Oh,
one shot
please.
everyone in the.
All monarchs aren't that strong.
How would
I've
you
never
know?
seen anything
Oh,
like
I've seen
it.
many monarchs in my time. Many are just common people. Just had the right blood.
So yeah, Jahan, you would know that the queen is powerful, but she's by no means on par with Dragon, and that you would know that each individual member of the council is there because they are old or they are powerful. They've gotten there through one way or another, either through cunning and calculated choices or through strength and resolve. Uh, so the queen may be strong and powerful, but the council is as well. It wouldn't be a simple matter of I'm going to kill you all, because it probably wouldn't work out that way, especially considering that they have equal amount of guards, and that would probably lead to a civil war, which you would know that the queen would not want. Casualties of elven lives when there are so few elven lives is nothing she wants.
And now you all know. That's why I came here, to seek King Dragon's help.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure if you're choosing the right group here. We're more equipped for the whole smashing bit.
Um, with all due respect, my friend, I have the same sentiment. But I have little options left.
Well,
And after all, Kazi, I did promise you a passage.
Yeah, the only reason I'm not more grumpy is because I do want to see those monsters in those woods and figure that out, because I think it's just all tales. But then again, last time we went to a forest, it was spooky as fuck, for real. I really didn't like that.
a giant
Monsters
monster
in the
made out of
woods.
ink, essentially.
There's all sorts of things in the woods. In fact, it's dangerous for elves too. It's not as simple as you might think, Kazi, but I should be well equipped enough to get us through, at least to Araglad. And if we're as unlucky as it seems this group tends to be, we will have no shortage of things to have to put down to protect ourselves on the way there.
So you would also know that even though there are restrictions on trade, Jahan, you would know that there are individual still trying to go to Araglad to sell their wares, even if it just means sitting outside the city of Araglad and having elves come out to buy their wares. Because elven people are fairly rich, and so yeah, they are still caravans going to Araglad, even if they're not getting inside the city, and they're just sitting outside selling their wares there. So you would know that there is a way to get onto a caravan to go there, which would be definitely much safer than just your traveling on your own. And in fact, you know that there's a caravan leaving from here to Araglad in 3 days. So you can have
Take a
3
look at some
days
of the
to
carriages.
prep and travel.
And we should have some time before we head out. It'll be much safer by caravan than just on foot. And quicker, too.
And they might even pay us to help protect it.
Well, I'm sure that I could at least try to see if they have any job openings for guards, like guard duty, like we did last time.
That's a good idea. We should also check if maybe anyone has anything they would like us delivered to the Araglad, a message, something. Maybe someone has some business there.
I recall seeing them hanging around the marketplace. In the meantime,
Jahan, I think you cut off there, bud. I heard in the meantime, but then it sounded like it went blank.
in the meantime, I suggest we all get some rest. It's going to be a long journey.
Right.
Go back to the tavern and look through my spellbook for some things I might prepare.
Right. I'm gonna ask Kazi, Lucas, and Doctor to kind of have a chat with them.
Sure. Doctor will sort of take a step to the side and follow you wherever you want to go.
All right.
Kazi will fall too.
All right. He's gonna go to a more, secluded area of the tavern and say, so I know that one of the so from what I remember, one of the map pieces is might be inside of Araglad. How do you guys want to approach that?
Probably the same way we did the last time. I mean, to be fair, we had kind of solved the mystery first, and then we went after the map piece. I don't see why we couldn't do the same this time.
Right. But do we want to do that before or after we help Jahan with his little political shenanigery?
I guess it's gonna depend on the situation. If it's urgent and we need to help him urgently, the map will have to wait.
And who knows, maybe the opportunity will arise to be able to grab the map piece while we're helping.
We don't even really know where exactly is it, so it's hard to plan
All right.
just yet.
Doctor kind of pushes his glasses up and says, the elves are a very secretive lot. Perhaps if we help the queen, she'd be more inclined to offer us aid in finding the map piece.
All right.
Are you okay, Doc? You don't sound like yourself.
I forgot what voice I used, so running with this.
Also,
Cheerio, little chap.
Also,
Chip chip cheerio.
do do we want to be so secretive about it and like not tell the others? I'm not one for making friends and stuff like this, but the last time we went for a map piece, it turned out not knowing too much about our companions, cause one of our companions they're alive, cause we couldn't answer simple questions about them.
I think that this is more of a discussion for the group. Yes. I don't like keeping secrets. I didn't like keeping secret that I was a vampire. Um, also, about the trip, I am a little nervous as I have not fed in some time, and in the city, I'm more likely to find a meal than on the road. Would anyone be willing to offer their services in this matter? And he looks very embarrassed.
Can't you just like collect a few files, or is it a kind of like has to be fresh deal?
Well, Kazi, have you ever seen blood before? It coagulates and becomes disgusting.
Well, I thought the potion makers have stuff like to keep that fresh for a longer time and stuff.
They do, but it wouldn't be pleasant, and it's not nearly as filling as from the vein.
Right.
Oh,
So what did
hold
you
on 1
do?
second. We switched over to the technical issues.
Uh-oh.
Okay. Continue. Just wanted to make
all
sure
right.
that we weren't having a problem here.
All right. I was about to ask him. So what did you do during our trip through the Darkwood?
That was a much shorter trip, and when I got to Dunwick, I fed.
No worries, Marcus will volunteer, and she's gonna pat Marcus on the back.
Wait, what?
I'm
Oh
getting
no
a
no
little bit
no
of
no
deja
no no
vu
no no
again.
no!
Unless Marcus can somehow turn himself into a female, I do have a certain type.
Oh
Oh
god.
my.
Oh.
Looks like Kazi.
He does look at
looks us
Kazi.
away.
He does sort of look at Kazi a little nervous, but then looks away. I know, Kazi, in the past that you have offered your assistance in this matter before. I was hoping that you might as well again.
Did I? I don't remember that. I I do not remember that, but if you say so.
It was after I helped young Kathleen.
That was a long time ago.
That was a long time ago. It was in Banalaw's house.
Yeah. Oh, sure. If there is no other way, I guess. But we'll try to find you females on the way.
I appreciate it. And he sort of does a little slight bow, and turns and
Little
walks away.
spite.
It's a little slight bow, and then walks away.
He does a smite and walks away.
He does a smite and then walks away.
Didn't know you were a paladin, doctor.
Well, I actually can be a paladin now that there's that one feat where I can smite people with my punches. I thought about taking that.
Got the talent of lay on these hands.
I got to tell him, you want some hands? All right. By the way, Doctor is a monk, for anyone that cares. And I don't know if anyone else told what their classes were, but
Yeah, I think I forgot to mention quite important detail. That is Malika's.
yeah, I did
There's a
mention that
freaking
you were a
dragon.
I did mention that you were a dragon rider, and she does have a dragon named Malagos. He is, at this point, I believe, still only medium-sized.
But for the most part, no one can see him because he kind of hides himself in the shadows.
He is the knight. Yeah, it's next level that you can actually start riding him if you wanted to.
Let's go.
He's also a bit of an asshole.
He is, but he's a dragon, so he's, all of
He's a
those
cheeky fuck.
dragony things. Yeah, he's all those dragony things of being cocky and overconfident. All right, so yeah, you guys finished that conversation. John, you watch as just the party walks away from you and has a bit of a conversation to the side, and then looks over the shoulder at you a couple times, and then there's like an awkward conversation that you can see it happens with Doctor, and then he sort of walks away. But yeah, I assume the rest of you now go back to Jahan and the rest of the group.
I was just standing next to Han the whole time. I'm
Sarai's like, I don't know what they're talking about.
They're fucking weird.
They just they take huddles for no reason. I don't know what's going on. All right, yeah, I imagine Thork's just also standing there like drinking a beer. So yeah, what would you guys like to do now? We'll start with Kazi. Kazi, are you wanting to continue your conversations with Jahan?
What time of day is it right now?
So the tournament sort of wrapped fairly late, because that was sort of the fight against Dragon. I think was the last. What was it? Or was it the first thing that happened today? I can't remember. We'll say that it was the last thing that happened. So it's kind of in the evening time at this point. Was it?
I do remember it was the first thing, because like I had the night to try to convince the entire city to join us.
You're right. You're right. So it was early in the morning. The fight probably just ended. You've gotten all your rewards and are now back at the Lazy Maid, plotting and planning. And yeah, so it'll be probably like maybe 1 o'clock in the afternoon at this point.
So what I would like to do with my day is basically stroll around the city and visit some shops, places like the guard post, where the commander of the guard is, and basically let them know that I'm leaving in 3 days. We're going to Eriglad. If they want something, we can do it on the way.
Okay. So the guards, they don't really have anything that needs done on the way to Eriglad. They have some things that need done in Hammerfall. But he says, we're really not even getting any information from Eriglad. So I'm not sure what you could do. They've sort of cut themselves off.
By the way, now that I think of it, have you ever paid us for all the stuff we did here that you were supposed to pay us? Because I don't really keep a book for accounting, but
Now that you mention it, I think we did forget to pay you for the last couple things you did. I apologize for that. Kazi, you've done quite a bit of work for us. And he starts checking some paperworks. And then he reaches behind his desk and he pulls out a small bag of gold that, oh, it's not small. It's pretty large, actually. A fairly decent sized bag of gold. And he plops 200 platinum on the table.
Holy crap.
Dang.
pleasure doing business with you as always.
By the way, did anyone have any magic items from Fanon?
Bannon?
No.
Yeah.
I mean, he gave me his cloak of protection, but I mean that was like an actual item that he bought.
Yeah, so then besides that, you're fine. So Kazi. Yeah, I think it was a +3 shield. Well, that's gone. All right.
And when the party needed him most, he vanished without a trace.
Can I think of anyone else we did the job for that we haven't received the payment? Like, I think we got something to investigate the people and the dogs.
Yeah, that was here.
There was something from the temple I can remember, and I don't think we ever went back there afterwards.
I don't remember.
I think the temple was like healing people or something, or maybe that might have been the temple of face that you were talking about.
The temple was tied to the White Walkers' black bloods because they were saying that they were getting these black bloods, and
I don't remember exactly. I'm just trying to figure out if anyone owes me more gold.
no, I don't think so. I think that was the only gold that you owed. And in fairness, it's probably more than what you would have gotten paid originally.
Got to get that street cred first.
So there you go. I've applied the payments to you. So Kazi, while you're doing
Oh, you
that,
decided Kaz is gonna distribute it amongst the party.
well,
I
she
mean our money.
she would have anyways. I just wanted to make everyone scared I won.
while she's doing that, Marcus, what would you like to do before you have to leave out of Edgeville? Go to your burned down home and look at it sadly.
Yeah, no. I already did that enough for the week. I'm gonna go over to Jahan and ask him more about what he knows about the Feywild.
Sure.
You can roll me a history check, Jahan.
Sure, I can do that.
First roll of episode 1.
All right, that's a decent one. So yeah, Jahan, you would know that. I mean, I think I told you about the Feywild and what your elven kind know before.
Yes.
Mhm. So you would know that. You would also know that entering into the Feywild and coming out is not an easy task. You do know that there are elves among your people that do have that ability, but they're very few. But besides that, you can tell them what else I told you if you want.
Well, uh, go ahead and I don't have a specific spot for all that information other than what I know of just the Feywilds in general. Well, Marcus, I can at least tell you that the not many elves can enter, and the elves that can are known as Feywalkers. I am not a Feywalker, but most of the elves have an innate knowledge of training, especially among the royal courts. And people that enter could be gone for years without emerging. Even elves, even the trained ones. They're twisted, and you're likely to find any manner of things. Is there anything specific you want to know about it?
Is it true that if you enter there, you basically get trapped in there forever?
Without a proper scout, of course. It's happened before, and there's no doubt that it'll happen again.
Are you a proper scout?
I am not, but I was trained in the royal court, and I should know enough to at least get us to Araglad. The scouts are better known for getting into other places within the Feywilds, but I can get us to Araglad.
So what's actually in the Feywilds?
Should I roll a nature check?
Yeah, you can roll me a nature check, but I think what's going on there, Kazo?
Because I can say we can expect anything. I'm not sure.
So you know that orcs, goblins, uh, other fey creatures, they all exist in the fey. You also know what else exists in the fey. It's up to you if you want to tell them about that. But you also know that undead exists in the fey. But who knows what else is in there?
Exactly. You can expect anything. You can see souls of the lost ones. People who have come back from it have suggested seeing ghosts, specters, revenants, even. Um, some people see houses that they've lost or that remind them of their childhood home, and some people see things that they wish. Um, but you know, I'll do everything in my power to keep all of you protected, even though I assure you, you all are capable of fighting anything.
So how does Eriglad have a countryside when it's just one city that's trapped inside the Feywild?
Magic.
You could
A
call
wizard
it
did it.
trapped, but it's not a trap for the people within Eriglad. It's more of just another layer of defense.
In other words, a giant wooded trap.
You could say that, sure.
I hate nature.
And what is it exactly that's happening there that we need to help with?
Well, as Lucas has said, I suppose the easiest way to bring it up would be an espionage. We have to uncover the corruption within the council without arousing too much suspicion. Although I imagine a group as diverse as yours would it would be hard
Stand
not
out.
to attract attention.
I hate politics.
But have they been acting in more corrupt ways? What's led you to believe that there's something wrong going on?
Well, I guess for starters, I can tell you that also an apprentice under another elf by the name of Aegis. He's the protector of the queen. Uh, Aegis is the one that
It's
suspects.
Aegis.
Aegis.
Aegis. I know it's been a while since I said it, and writing it down probably is impossible to remember. But it's Aegis. Like, I think it means shield in Greek.
Yes. Um, he has some jurisdiction over the city guard, and he's the voice and shield of the queen, and by extension, the city too. And he believes that the council may be planning more than just acquiring more power, but to supplement the queen's throne entirely and put their own people to power.
But if she's already mostly a figurehead, what's there to really do for them?
All I can say is that I've been sent on a mission, and I kind of make it up as I go along.
Everyone
I
does.
I suppose there is a personal matter to it as well. The Elven Queen, she's she's also my mother,
Oh,
God damn, we got two
and
royalty in our group now.
I'm
Two princelings.
I'm worried that if the council does usurp the queen, that they may just kill her. I can't. It won't be a public execution or anything, but there would be no need for the royal family, and I doubt anything good will come once the queen is usurped by the council. In fact,
why-
I was never meant to leave Eriglad.
Why is that?
Wait, we're not going to get in trouble for bringing you back, are we?
I confess I don't know what's happened in my absence. I don't know.
So why are you not allowed to leave?
Well, technically, none of the elves are allowed to leave, but I doubt the council will be happy that a member of the royal family would have left, potentially to do what it is that I'm doing. I doubt it will be made a public scandal, but that being said, there may be undercover agents who will be having their eyes open while we're within the city.
So why are they so hell-bent on their self-isolation?
Well, it's mostly the council's doing. The council seeks to sow seeds of doubt within the city. Uh, the council has been the one that has restricted trade from the outside cities, like Edgeville, and they regulate who can come in and out of Eriglad. They claim that it's been 40 years since the last orc attack on the city, and the orcs could attack again at any moment, and that's enough to keep most of the people who are fearful within the city's walls. The council plans to install fear within the city using raids as an excuse to control the population. My master, Aegis, sees through that facade and was the one who told me to leave and seek help.
It seems like that we should search out this Aegis and see if he's found out anything else while you were gone.
That was my first plan of action upon returning to Eriglad as well. I agree with that suggestion. Unfortunately, the king of Edgeville was a lot less helpful than I thought he was going to be. That is an error on my part.
Well, speaking of which, I think I am going to go to bed because I am still sore from getting punctured in the chest 3 times. You all have a good evening.
Good evening.
Doctor was sort of sitting close and listening to you have this conversation, and he would probably approach at that and would say, I don't think he meant to be unhelpful. But recently, not that recently, I suppose, but perhaps for you elves it's recent, there was an attack on Hammerfall, and it is under a constant struggle to remain a city. Half of it is in ruins, the other half is barely holding on. The king has directed most of his forces and his armies to help it, which leaves him and this city vulnerable.
I see. Perhaps I'm too harsh.
Though I think he did help. He gave you this group, and they've managed to solve a murder and defeat a higher vampire. So there's that.
Well, you're right. I suppose I should not overlook all of your achievements.
We also
Jahan.
killed the village of Dunwick's monster. Just food for
Jahan.
thought, and then he kind of will walk away. I'm sorry, I didn't interrupt you again. Go ahead.
Sarah's gonna pull out of her bag her dragon bone dice. Say, is there something that you'd like to ask the dice?
Oh, are you a diviner?
I've dabbled.
Well, what is it that I can ask the dice?
Well, they can tell you if a course of action will be good or bad, or both.
Will they be able to tell me if someone who has disappeared is alive?
I'm afraid it's not that. It's not quite that detailed, but it could tell you if your search for that person will be good or bad.
Very well. All right. Magical dice.
No. Just tell me the question that you wish to ask, and I will see to it.
Good. How about we start simple? Will
Well, I should
our
warn you,
journey...
it's going to be. It will have to be a whole day before I can ask again, with any degree of certainty. It gets a little hazy after the first one of the day.
All right. Will our journey to seek the Aegis be successful? Aegis. Might be.
It's okay.
All right. I will cast augury about our journey to seek the Aegis.
So that is will or woe, correct?
Yeah, weal or woe, or both weal and woe.
Okay. So the question was, will your journey to seek Aegis be successful? It will come back to you with will and woe.
Well, it's most likely going to be fraught with danger, but what isn't these days?
I see. Yes. Oh, I did. I suppose it doesn't hurt to have magic dice to confirm your suspicions.
I find them reassuring. Trust me, some of the best decisions that you can make are both weal and woe.
And are there any other insights that I can offer you all? I know I'm asking a lot.
I suppose we'll have to get to the forest first.
Very well. If I recall anything, I'll be sure to share. You're my allies now, and I will treat you as such. And with that, John will excuse himself to probably go to the library. Is it the Edgeville University?
No, there is a specific library. It's the one that says
Oh, I
library.
see it. Perfect. Yeah.
The library is the one that says library.
El Biblioteca.
Biblioteca. Yeah, you can easily find it. It's the biggest building probably besides
Yeah, it's by the
uni-
keep.
yeah, it's a pretty big
Next to the
building.
Temple of Faiths.
It's a big old sign above it says library. No. It probably says something like Library of Edgeville or something like that.
If possible, is it possible to see um, any wizards who might be willing to share their spellbook, help copy a spell?
So Yeah, I mean that would be easy enough. You just need to go to the Mage Tower, and you can definitely
Oh,
find.
cool. But I don't need to be in the library. I'm going to the
No,
mage tower.
if you wanted to find books, you can go to the library, and you might find the wizard there. But no, the Mage Tower would be the one you'd go to. That's wizards.
Okay. Then I'm looking to take about 2 hours to copy a spell and learn a spell.
Right, so you arrive at the Mage Tower. As you do, you can see that there doesn't seem to be any doors that lead into the tower. It's just flat walls that sort of go around and around and around and around and around. What would you like to do?
Hey, Gil, did they put up that sign that I suggested they put up?
Not yet.
You can go ahead and anyone who wants to go through something. I'm gonna look through some of the spells that I've been looking at. To
Okay.
Pick which one.
But how you getting in? You haven't gotten in yet.
Oh,
There's no
yeah,
doors.
no doors,
It's just walls.
Oh,
Become the Kool-Aid Man.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
I guess I'll knock on the stone.
All right, you knock on the stone and sort of stand there for a few moments, and nothing happens.
Okay. Uh, uh, can I?
You can roll me an Arcana check. You can roll me a
Perfect.
Perception
I'd
check,
love to
or
do that. I'm gonna roll
or
an
an
Arcana check.
investigation check, whichever you prefer.
Arcana. There we go.
All right, so like thinking back, there are places sort of like this in Airglad, and you remember that there's like a magic word you have to say, but like you wouldn't know what the magic word necessarily is. And as you're sort of standing there, you see someone come out of the wall. The wall sort of opens
Oh.
up. It becomes a pathway as she almost runs into you. And she goes, "Oh!" And she's holding a sign in her hand. And she goes, "Oh, I'm so sorry, dear. You all right?"
Oh no, I'm fine. I was actually wondering how you just did that.
She sort of chuckles and says, "Well, I was bringing this sign out, and you can see carved on it says, 'Speak open in your native language.'"
Oh. Oh, that's the exact sign I was looking for.
Yes, it was suggested by someone else.
Perfect. Is the door? Did it like open up and it's still open, or did it close immediately right behind her?
So yeah, it opened up, but you can see that it's already starting to close behind her, like as it closes up the hallway. But she says, "You wanted to go in," and she turns around and says, "Open" and common, and it starts to open back up. It's as long as you're in the hallway, dear, it won't close. But if you don't hurry, it'll close pretty soon.
Oh, thank you so much. And I'll nod my head and head on inside.
All right. Yeah, so you can find a wizard easy enough. There's hundreds of them here, so you can get any spell that you like from any of their books, and they'll happily give them to you. And
Nice.
while he's doing that, Marcus, what would you like to do?
I guess I'm gonna, walk over to Doc and ask him, "Hey, Doc, I got a question for you.
Yeah, what's up?
You mentioned how vampires don't have like a working stomach, right?
Mm-hmm.
If that's the case, then how do they process blood?"
Well, you see, when you become a vampire, your stomach is just a resuscitory. It doesn't process food or digest it anymore. It just holds the blood, and then it sort of, through osmosis, travels into the body. I'm not exactly sure how. If you've ever gotten a chance to dissect a vampire, is when you kill them, they turn to ash. But That's what I would imagine.
Hmm. Interesting.
I think it's quite fascinating, actually. The idea of vampires and stomachs. Though I'm afraid I haven't had the chance to actually get my hands on any dead vampire stomachs.
So, do they do this with all liquids, or just
Uh, I mean, I can eat and drink anything. I just have to vomit it before I go to sleep.
right? But what I'm asking is, if you were to say drink beer, does it also go back into you through osmosis?
I don't believe so. I could try.
Uh, I order him something really strong.
Yeah, he will down it. It doesn't even seem like he reacts to the taste or to the strongness of the alcohol. Tastes like nothing.
I give him a few more glasses.
Yeah, he downs them. Yeah, it tastes like water, or what I imagine water would taste like. I haven't had it.
Do you feel anything at all?
He shakes his head no.
Hmm.
I'm afraid not, friend. Wish I could be more help.
Huh. Oh
Oh,
well.
wait! I think I feel
What?
something. My pinky is getting a little numb.
Hmm.
Yeah, the tip of my pinky.
I keep ordering him more just to see what'll happen. I want to see a drunk vampire.
Sure, he will drink as much as you give him, and eventually he says, "Oh yeah, I feel it. The very tip of my finger is numb completely."
Huh.
That's not that impressive, but is that all you feel when you get drunk?
Uh, that's what I feel when I get tipsy.
Mm, it's not that great.
Hmm.
Oh well, it's worth a try, I guess.
Wait. Try drinking Thork's blood.
Thork's
It
blood?
it it should have alcohol in it.
Oh, but he's a werewolf. Fine, but he won't agree. He won't agree to it. So Thork, Doc walks up to you and says, "Hey, Thork, you mind if I um, have a bite?"
No, this is my beer.
No. You can drink your beer. I'm just going to drink your blood. With less blood, it means you're going to get drunker faster.
Really?
Absolutely. It's scientifically proven. I'm a doctor. Would I lie to you?
Hmm. As long as you buy the next round.
Of course. I will buy you the next 3 rounds. For you to never mention this to me ever again. And he's gonna like take your arm and gently bite you, and
What are you doing?
I'm
Nom nom nom.
No, you were getting ready to
Scrape
put the
and
food in.
lick.
scrape and lick.
Can I punch him?
Sure, you can try to punch me. Roll me a unarmed strike.
Actually, I've got even better. I just start disintegrating.
You start
Mm.
disintegrating.
Yep.
Good lord.
As I misty step out the fuck away.
All right. Well, I feel like I got enough out of that though that it's fine. So yeah, you're a little bit lighter on blood, and I'm a little bit heavier on alcoholic blood.
Bastard.
I'm gonna roll a con save. Yeah, I failed. So after a couple of seconds, Doc starts to sway a little. And he kind of like is standing there. Oh, I don't feel very good. And he kind of swaying.
Hey, looks like we finally gotten drunk.
And he'll keep his promise and order you 3 more drinks. Thork.
Marcus is like grabbing out like a piece of paper and a pen and just taking notes.
And taking notes. In order to get a vampire drunk, you have to drink lots of alcohol. So next time we go into a vampire fight, I expect you all to just be fucking plastered.
Exactly.
If he bites me, he'll become an alcoholic.
I mean, that's 24/7 with Thork anyway, so I don't see how it's not been effective before.
You know, going forward, Thork, you'll just have to remind me that you're drunk, and if you get bitten by a vampire, well, there you go. He's drunk now. I have to roll a con save. So yeah.
Making a lot of con saves.
Lots and lots of con saves.
I think I finally found what the vampire's ultimate weakness is. Drunk people.
Vampire's ultimate weakness is drunk werewolves. Sure, it's fine that we establish this lore.
The most important lore.
Exactly. How do vampires get drunk?
All right. So while that's happening, Sarai or Lucas, anything you would like to do?
Let me double check here. I think I have some stuff I can do. I actually don't have that. Okay. I suppose it's just doing some general repair work after the fight today. I think other than that, he already talked to the sword, so I think I'm good for the night.
All right. Sarai,
think-
anything you would like to do?
Yes, I would actually like to see if I can get Lehman's Tiny Hut into my book. So would I need to go to the library as well for that?
Yes, you would need to go to the library for that.
All
Or
right.
no,
Goes
to the
to the
Mage's Tower.
tower.
Sorry.
Oh, the Mage's Tower. Sorry.
Yeah, the Mage's Tower.
That's the one with the walls and the new sign.
Yes. A wall on the new sign that says Mage's Tower.
All right. So she'll actually read the sign that says how to get in,
Yeah.
and she'll say "Open" in Celestial, and get in.
Yeah, you say open, the door opens, and there's no problem. You go in.
All right.
Sarai, fancy seeing you here.
Oh yes. Well, I figured if we're going camping for a while, it'd be good for us to have something safe. So I was hoping I could find something for that.
Yes, I'm going to be in here for several hours tonight.
Oh, me as well. I'll keep you company.
Sure.
She'll go.
Um,
So it takes me 6 hours to do this.
Yes, it's gonna take
Woohoo!
me
Yep.
6, 7, 8. It's gonna take
Well,
me 8 hours to do
This
mine
is
stuff.
you probably won't be able to do that all in today's day. Well, your 6 hours probably you'll be able to do it all in today's day. But for you, Jahan, you'll probably have to do part of it today, part of it
I can
tomorrow.
do. I'll do the 6 hours, and then I'll do the 2 hours tomorrow.
Yeah, you can split it over 3 hour, the 3 days that you have until the caravan leaves anyway. So it's not a huge deal.
It's 8 hours for 2 combined spells, but 6 hours for 1 and 2 for the other. So I can
Okay.
do 1 today and 1 tomorrow.
Sounds good. Yeah, so you guys are gonna do that. Sounds good.
Yep, and I'll take out my gold.
Thork, what would you like to do?
Go for a drink and walk outside.
Okay. Yeah, you take a drink and walk outside.
Yeah, is there anything to kill in the woods?
You go into the dark woods? Yeah, roll me a survival check.
He likes to take enthusiastic walks in the woods.
He likes to take very enthusiastic walks in the woods. Alright, so as you're traveling through the woods, you notice some tracks. They look like deer, very large deer, and begin to set out and travel. As you begin traveling through the woods, following these tracks, roll me a perception check.
Yeah, ignore the 6.
Okay. So with a with a 9, you don't notice anything immediately.
Cool.
But you distinctly get this sort of feeling that you're being watched, but you don't see anything. So do with that as you like.
I'll I'll just swear at them. Randomly in any direction.
Alright. So you just swear randomly in a direction.
And keep walking.
Alright. As you continue to walk, the tracks eventually lead to your prey. But what you discover very quickly is that your prey is not alive. It has been torn piece by piece by piece apart. You can see the head in the tree branches above you. The body has been ripped apart. Blood covers the ground. Pieces of meat are here and there, and it is a deer. Roll me another perception check.
Can have the bastards are beating me to it.
Someone's a messy eater.
So with
There
that
you go.
6,
Aye. Fix this extra 12 working.
with that 6, you don't notice anything. But the feeling of being watched still remains. You feel like something is right behind you. But as you turn to look, you don't see anything.
Aye, sure. Alright then, you fucking killjoy. And I'll go and try and retrieve the heat from the tree.
Alright, roll me a athletics check. Yeah, you managed to scramble up the tree without any problems. Easy enough. It's just a tree. As you grab the head, the mouth opens and begins to speak to you as the eyes flash open and the head begins to move. But it's not speaking words that you understand. And I need you to make me a sanity check.
Oh no, you're trying to eat Cthulhu.
I've forgot to set this one up. So,
You can just roll me a wisdom save then instead.
oh fuck, is it a wisdom save? Well, we've fucked in. Yep, that's about right.
Yeah, so this thing screaming in your mind, you can see the last moments that this creature had. The panic in its chest as it flees from whatever it is that is chasing it. You can see it sort of looks behind it as you see what looks like a figure wearing black. Not running, just walking. It walks between a tree and the creature loses sight of it. It looks forward and the creature is in front of it. This thing in black is before it. The animal darts to the left, trying to avoid it, nearly almost hitting a tree. It skitters and continues, panicked, as whatever this thing is that it can see, it knows instinctually this is not good. The animal runs as fast as it can. Every time it looks back, it can see the creature, but as it moves, walking calmly through the trees, it loses sight again and again and again, and it seems to pop up in different places. And then all of a sudden, pain, as it sort of stops being held by something. It looks back to see what it has grabbed it, and it sees a hand inside of its chest. This creature in black, with a pale face and black eyes, watches it menacingly as it rips its heart out. As it falls to the ground, dying, the creature takes agonizing time ripping its flesh from the very bones. And the creature dies in agony. And you feel all of this and see all of this. And you are going to take 26 points of psychic damage as you fall out of the tree and take an additional 12 points of bludgeoning damage.
Huh.
So that's 38 points total.
Good. Thanks, I was struggling with the math there. Did I at least grab the head before I fell?
Yeah, so you have the head in your hands as it's sort of like you've got this death grip on this thing. You can't let it go. And the thing that is in your hands, this deer head, is just laughing crazily.
This is no normal deer.
Can
Really?
I'll stick my hip flask in its gob to shut it up.
Alright, you step your hip flask into its mouth. It doesn't seem to stop the laughing. It just sort of echoes in your head more.
Huh. Oh well, I drink from the hip flask then. If it makes no difference, may as well affect someone.
Alright. What would you like to do now?
I'll start walking back since my kit was being nicked, so.
Alright. As you're walking back, that intense feeling that something is watching you remains all the way until you enter the city.
Then I'll go back to the tavern and.
Alright. As you walk into the tavern, anyone that's still in the tavern can see Cazo looks a mess. Thork looks a mess, I should say. He is sort of beaten up looking. Well, actually, at this point, Thork, you probably would have. Do you regen when you're in your normal state, or is it werewolf state only?
No, I can regen whatever.
Okay. So then, yeah, you probably would have regen some of that. But his clothes look a little disheveled and a little banged up, worse for wear.
You okay, Thork?
Yeah, it's good fun. Some are, shall we say, to steal a kill though. And then the head starts speaking to me, which is unusual. I'm blaming that one on the drink now.
Yeah, I blame that on the drink as well. And I kind of just turned back to Doc to watch him on his first time drunken adventure.
Yeah, Doc just sort of looks at him a little like, okay, if you're sure. But yeah, he does look at you a little confused as to why you're holding that head.
Yes. My head, found it. Finders keepers. And he runs off.
Just don't make a mess.
Too late.
Ah.
Dripping blood all the way across.
Right. So with that, Kazi, do you want to do anything else for today?
Well, I don't know if you already like took into account that I would pretty much go by all the shops and places of interest to do the same, ask if they need anything, because I'm going to Erglad.
Yeah, effectively, they don't really have anything that they can give you to do because there's just no real jobs that they can give
That's
you.
alright. She doesn't really have anything else important to do, so she would just still try it every place.
Right.
And she wouldn't give up. And then she would come back for the night to the Lazy Maid to have a glass of wine and a platter of cheese.
All right. Hey, you do exactly that.
You see Doc absolutely plastered.
Yeah, Doc is pretty drunk.
What's up with him? And she points at Doug.
So I found out how vampires get drunk. They drink drunk people's blood.
He looks like he must have drunk Thork's blood or something, because he really looks plastered.
Oh yeah, he did.
Hey, Kazi, you're so pretty.
Oh my fucking god. I used to respect him. I wish I didn't see that.
All right, so yeah, does anyone have anything else they want to do?
No, I think I'm good for the first day. Spending my 6 hours for my spells, and I'm set for the next day to do more preparing.
All right.
I think the only other thing Lucas is going to really be doing is just getting the paperwork set up for everyone for the caravan trip.
Yeah, so the guy tells you the trip there is not going to be easy. Normally we lose about 20 people.
I figured that it was going to be quite dangerous, but that's still concerning. Is there anything you can tell me about the way that we should know about?
Yeah, don't go in the fucking woods.
Well, that's a given. Is there a payment for this job, or?
There's payment, but only when you get there.
Well, I was more curious on the amount, but I understand the confusion.
Oh, there's 10 gold a day.
Great. All right.
And it's a 2-week travel.
Well, that's not terrible. Let's see. Okay, we will be conscripting, I believe it was 7 people to help with the journey.
Well, I expect about half of them to be dead by the time we get there.
Oh, they're a hardy lot. It might surprise you.
Yeah, that's what the last one said.
Mm. Suppose we shall see.
Being tough and being smart, 2 different things.
You're not necessarily wrong about that.
You see shit in those woods, man. They call to you. I've been through that route more times than I can count. See more people just walk in the woods, just randomly. They'll fight you too if you try to stop them. Almost kill you.
That is very concerning. All right.
We call them the siren songs.
I had heard of something similar, but I'm not super familiar with that name.
Sometimes it happens at night. You'll be sitting around a campfire, and then all of a sudden one of you guys will just stand up and just start running towards the damn forest. Before you can do anything to react, he's gone. Then the screams. The fucking screams.
That I am familiar with.
So it says here that you've been through by the Fey Road as you
We
were
have.
going to the village of Dunwick. All
That
right.
is correct.
Well, that's not even quite a taste of what we're going to experience when it's on both sides of you. But all right, he starts writing your guys' name down.
Excellent.
Did you tell him about the fight with the manticores?
I don't know. Are you here to tell him about the fight with the manticores?
No.
That would already be on the report.
All right.
Probably would. Well, would it be? I mean, everybody kind of fucking died when we got to Dunwick.
Not everybody.
I mean,
There
a
were a
lot
few
of people, but
There
maybe.
was a lot of people that died, but there were still a lot of people that made it.
Oh, I see. I thought everybody in the caravan died.
Not everyone died. There was like I think 6 or 7 of them that died, but there was still quite a few.
Okay, that makes more sense then. All right.
Yeah, they just stopped helping you when they got to Dunwick because they were only there to trade.
Yep. All right. I believe that should be everything then.
All right. Well, we're gonna be leaving out in 3 days, so make sure you get all your affairs in order. If you got a will and testament you want to write off to somebody, something you want to leave to somebody, leave it here.
I shall pass along the information.
He nods. Oh, also, odds are, if you want to go inside of Veriglad, that's not gonna happen.
We might. You know what? Yes. Don't worry about it. We're just here for the protection.
All right, just want to let you know because we had a few people that wanted to go, and then we get to the gate, and you can't even get in. So I just want to give you fair warning.
We shall see if special conditions will allow, but we will not get our hopes up, I suppose.
All right, and yeah, he'll close his book and start barking some orders to some what look like fairly rough-looking dudes. Like they look like they've been through hell. This caravan only got back 2 days, and you can see that they're pulling in some bodies still from like outside. They look pretty mangled.
Is this just from traveling from Eriglad, or is this a different trek?
Oh yeah, this is just from Eriglad.
Great. All right. Well, I'll see you in 3 days with the group.
He nods. So, yeah. Anyone else want to do anything before the night ends?
I'll probably escort Doctor to his room.
Markus, you're the best guy I've ever seen. You got like a face that changes, man. Don't let them change you.
I know.
Don't let them change you, Markus.
I only changed myself, thank you.
Don't let them change you though, Markus, okay? You be who you are, Markus. And he just falls asleep.
I thought he said he couldn't fall asleep.
Well, he falls into whatever this is.
He falls into a coma.
He falls into a coma.
I'd actually like to talk to Sarai a little bit, if that's cool.
Absolutely, yeah.
Sure. Just while we're copying spells.
Yeah. No, I'm kind of ashamed that I had to find a wizard to help me learn this spell. It's a simple one that we learned back, but it's been a long time since I've had to use it.
The only shameful thing is to not ask for help, and then you just fail.
It's pretty warm in here. I'm surprised you've got so many layers on.
I'm used to the heat.
Where are you from, Sarai?
It's a place very far away from here, but it was a nice place. I haven't been there in quite some time.
Do you miss it?
Very much.
And what is it that you're copying down in this tower?
Apparently there was a mage named Liaman who made this spell. It creates a dome that allows people to safely sleep inside.
Yeah, that's funny. It seems we both had similar interests coming here. Although I I trust Tense a little bit more. Here, and he's gonna pass over this book with a spell called Althea's Travel Tent. Seems we've had simple spells that we wanted to look at. This one's more of a transformation.
Well, then I suppose we'll have accommodations for everyone then.
And I like this one. It seems, I'd hate to say it, but life in Nereglad definitely spoiled me compared to life in the wilderness or in Edgeville.
Yes.
Jahan and Sarai, roll me perception checks, please.
Oh.
I'm busy.
Yeah, you're talking too much about your spells and stuff. You don't seem to
Oof.
notice. Neither do you.
Even worse.
we're just lost in conversation.
It's less that you don't notice. It's more that it takes you a little bit longer to notice. So where
Okay.
are you guys having this conversation exactly?
Well, I assume there
I-
was just a table in there that we could use.
Yeah,
Table
I
in the
just kind of
tavern?
pictured that
Okay.
we were at like a.
Yeah, here, let me just take you over to the map of the Lazy Maid. 1 second. Oh, that's ugly. The grid on here is I'll fix that. Grid. Just don't show yourself anymore, please. Thank you. It would help if I shared the stupid map with you. There you go.
Oof, okay.
So you guys are probably just like down here, one of these tables, whatever. There are other people in here. As you guys are talking, like you're not paying attention because you're just having your sort of conversation about spells. So it takes you a few moments to realize this, but you notice that the entire room is quiet. there was people talking and playing cards. You could hear the clanking of tankards and the different conversations that were sort of filling the room. But now it's completely quiet. And as you're sort of sitting here realizing this, you look over and you notice that everyone is sort of frozen in the middle of something. There's a card in the air about maybe 3 or 4 inches off the table as someone is tossing it at another player. There's someone in the middle of drinking his ale. There's another person in the middle of walking across the room with a bunch of beer on a sort of platter. All these people are sort of frozen. You even notice Kazi in the middle of eating some cheese, just sort of frozen. Oh, they're in the library? I thought they said lazy maid.
We can be the lazy maid. Maybe they let us take our.
We'll say that
materials
this is yeah. You took the materials to you went to the mage tower and you got what you needed and came back to be comfortable. That's better. Yeah. So everybody is sort of in the middle of freezing. And you notice sort of not too far from you is King Dragon sort of standing there, just waiting patiently for you to finish your conversation.
I sort of tilt my head over at him. And to what do we owe you the pleasure of you gracing us with your presence?
Oh no, please continue your conversation. I'm not in a rush. I only came
but
here for Jahan.
well,
There's nothing you can
seems
say to me
rude to
that
leave
you
him
can't
on our.
say to my allies.
Oh, I came here because I understand that you need help, Jahan, and I'm more than willing to offer it, which is why I offered your allies here. But I thought about it for a moment, if there is anything else I could do to assist you. And I came to the conclusion that there was. And he reaches into his sort of pocket and pulls out I guess you would almost call it a very tarnished looking golden ring. And he puts it into the palm of his hand and sort of holds it out for you to take.
Okay.
Precious.
I'll give it. Yeah, I was thinking precious. I'll give Sarai like a side glance and step out of my chair and kind of move past all the frozen figures to stand in front of him, hold out my hand.
He takes the ring and begins to place it into your hand. As it's in the palm of your hand, he says, "This may be a useful tool." And he lets go of it.
And what can I expect from it?
It has remained silent to me for years. I know not what you would expect from it, other than the fact that in the past, I would have considered him a friend and an ally, and I would have considered him a staunch ally of the elves.
Oh. Well, I thank you for this extra kindness.
He nods. And he sort of turns and says, though he does have a temper, and he reaches out and grabs what looks like nothing and sort of turns it. And as he pulls, a door opens, and you can see what looks like a lavish sort of bedchamber. And he steps through the doorway, and the door slams shut. And as soon as it slams shut, everything continues. The cards hit the table, the drink goes back down. Kazi finishes chewing her cheese.
I'm going to motion for Jahan to come back.
Yeah, I take a seat next to her.
Would
I'll
you
hold out
like
the
me
ring.
Would you like me to identify that for you?
Please do. I was never much good at that.
Well, first off, what kind of magic does it radiate, if it does any, with my detect magic?
So as you cast detect magic on it, It is odd. It doesn't seem to be magic.
I'll go ahead and cast Identify then.
Right. As you reach out and cast Identify and touch the ring, I need you to make me a Wisdom saving throw.
Yay!
Oh, sorry.
Ugh.
So as your fingers touch it, for a moment, your head feels like an immense pressure has just crashed against it. And you get images, but they're so fast and so quick, you can't make anything out. And you take 6 points of psychic damage.
Sorry, are you all right?
I've had worse. Wouldn't suggest touching this as much as possible. Yeah,
It's weird
kind of
because
like
Johanna was in your hand and it didn't do anything to you.
I'm gonna kind of like put it in a napkin and fold the napkin over and kind of hand it over to him like that.
Huh.
I don't
All right,
trust him.
I share those sentiments. I did say it had a temper. An odd word to pick for a ring. Well, I apologize for the inconvenience. Let me know if there's anything I can get you. In fact, here, do you drink?
Just water.
Of course. And he'll stow the ring in a pocket and run up to go order some water for Sarai.
Okay. Yeah, the barmaid looks at you and what'd you like, dear?
Just some water. 2 waters, actually. It's going to be a long night.
She nods and we'll get you the water.
Okay. And after getting the water, I'll bring it back, sit it next to her, and say, well, I suppose we'll see if it becomes a help or hindrance on our journey. For now, you're right. It should just be put away.
Well, I hope
No,
it's more of a help.
I asked you the question about where you were from. Was it hot? A desert?
No, actually, it was always pleasant.
Well, sounds like a nice place to be. Hopefully, one day find your way back.
I do hope that.
Well, I don't know about you, but I've had enough about looking at all these for one night. I think it's ready to call this a rest.
Good night.
Good night. Thus concludes Jahan's day.
All right, so Jahan, as you go and begin to trance for your night, you roll me a wisdom saving throw. Okay. You don't notice it immediately, but you notice that your hand begins to slip towards where you've kept the ring and begins to take it out. It begins to almost put it on your finger, but you stop yourself and you kind of open your eyes and you realize what you're doing.
I'm gonna drop it out of surprise, let it ting on the floor, roll underneath the dresser.
As it sort of rolls away, the sort of in the back of your head, the urge to take it out and put it and keep it with you is there. It's not an intense urge. It's a mild one.
Okay. I'll mage hand it
Yeah,
from out from under the dresser.
You mage hand it from under the dresser.
And it's just a plain ring, no.
It
seams
looks
or anything like
somewhat
that.
tarnished and golden, and as you look at it, it is like you could probably polish this up. In fact, you kind of want to. Like you kind of want to clean it. It's got the tarnish on it, and it's not an overwhelming urge, but there's a small one like that. You just want to clean the ring and tidy it up and make it look nicer.
And about what time?
It's probably like maybe 2 hours into your trance.
Okay. For now.
But it is from what you can tell, even though it is tarnished, it is sort of elegantly crafted. There are like some carvings and designs on it, but with the tarnish and some of this schmutz, you can't quite make out all the fine details of it. But yeah, it is a relatively nice looking ring apart from the schmutz.
Okay. And he's gonna think back to something about an old spell that long forgotten, and puts it back in his pocket and says, "I've got some questions for you tomorrow. Behave." And gonna finish up his trance.
You swear that you almost hear a voice answer you and say, "I'll be here," but you're not sure.
Damn it. Okay.
So yeah, you finish your trance. You don't need to start again or anything like that. You just go back in and finish it. While that's happening, does anyone else have anything else that they would like to do? Because if not, we will be going into the long rest part of the night.
I finish up my observations of doctor's response to alcoholic blood and then go to bed.
All right. If anyone else has anything they would like to do, speak now, forever hold your peace.
Why do you make me feel
A
like
piece of
something
what?
very, very bad is supposed to happen?
No, I'm just asking because I want to confirm that everyone's done everything they want to do on the first day. That's all.
Also, I still have the unconscious and stable.
Yeah, I just noticed. I'm going through and removing them now.
Cool, thank you.
Yeah, because everyone had them on them. I don't know why the
Everyone's
long rest.
unconscious.
I don't know why the long rest doesn't like fix that. That's annoying, but there you go. Everybody should be good now. So all right, long rest happens. As it does, Lucas, as you are
Hi.
sleeping and as you fall asleep, you feel sort of this weight that has been holding you down for some time now, feeling kind of inadequate, maybe a few other emotions that are sort of rolling through your head. You eventually drift off to sleep after laying in bed, sort of staring at the ceiling for a long time. And the first thing you see as you kind of drift off is you feel warm. You feel real warm. You feel like your body is hotter than it should be, and you kind of are getting uncomfortable. And as you kind of finally reach that point of just you can't handle it anymore, you open your eyes to see what the hell is going on. You are on fire, but you're not in your room. You are in the sky amongst the stars. You can see the stars better than you've ever seen them in Edgeville or anywhere. There are millions and millions and billions of them. And you see one star in particular, far off in the distance, and it seems to be coming towards you at a hurried pace, getting larger and larger and larger. And it's eventually that you realize this is not a star. This is something else. And unfortunately for the viewers at home, I can. Cazo, are you on a map in particular? Let's just go with the Edgeville map. Let's just go with the Edgeville map from now. I'll put you back over there. There you go. So give me 1 second here.
Shit.
You see this before you, Lucas. It is a man seemingly made of fire. His hair is fire. His arms are fire. And looking at him is difficult, but not impossible. You can see he has this sort of golden chest plate and other things of that nature. By the way, shout out to the artist whoever did this. It's great. It's perfect. It fits my god amazingly. He sort of has this halo of gold behind him as well, and he sort of is before you, and you are tiny in comparison to him. You're maybe a grain of sand compared to his stature and size. And as he sort of looks down at you, Lucas, he says, "Why do you doubt yourself, champion?"
I feel like I couldn't even earn my keep. Every battle that I took, I feel like I couldn't even earn a single victory. What kind of champion goes through a fight and can't do simply that?
Soul sort of nods understandingly. You believe yourself weak because you lost fights. But those fights were nothing but sport and entertainment. They did not risk your life or the lives of your allies. They only risked your pride. And you have learned valuable lessons from your losses.
I have. I've also gained mentors and learned to strive.
You are but a small flame in the flame that is the whole. And he sort of gestures behind you. And as you kind of turn, you see other little fires all across Devamut. Little sparks. They are all children. Children in a world without light. They must provide the light themselves. You are a small spark, but a small spark can start large fires. You will grow in time, as you have already grown. Keep your faith and protect your friends as you have done so far.
I will continue to do so. Thank you.
And with a sort of bright brilliance, he sort of retreats back, vanishing into the night sky. And you awake, and as you do, you notice that this sun has shined through your windows and sort of casting a bright light into your room. And you feel warm all over still, but it's not uncomfortable. And you are awake. It is the next day. Kazi, as you sort of fall asleep, unfortunately, unlike Lucas, you do not get visited by a pleasant god giving you gentle reminders of hope and fate. You're instead visited by the ghosts of the past. You awaken in your old home, in your old village. Without Malagos. It's the same dream that you've had several times since it happened. It's the day that your village was attacked by the man in black. The day that you ran to go fetch the guards and the soldiers from Edgeville. And the day that your father, well, your adopted father, died.
Am I aware that this is a dream and I'm having it again?
Yes, you're aware, but you're not in control of your body. You're there, but you're not in control. It does what it wants, and it seems to just go through the motions of that day. Says what you said, does what you do, but you're not in control. You're just reliving it. You are very much aware that this is a dream and very much aware that this is not real. But there's nothing that you can do as you just sort of are there, reliving it.
Just gonna try to send a message to whatever is responsible for the dreams and my thoughts that you're not very original. We've done this before a few times. Boring now. I get it, it's unpleasant, but like, come on.
You're not sure if it's some creature doing it, if it's the man in black, or if it's just your mind. But you put that out into the ether. Nothing responds, nothing does anything in response.
Thinking to myself, okay, let's get over it with then. So it's done. Yay.
Yeah, it goes as it normally does.
Oh, here they die again. Can't do anything about it. Cool.
And then eventually, as the sort of dream comes to the conclusion, you awake again in your bed.
I check if Malagos is there. If everything.
Yeah, Malagos is there, sort of laying at the foot of the bed, curled up.
You have dreams too, Malagos?
He sort of opens one eye and looks at you. I can feel what you feel, if that's what you mean.
I was curious if you have your own nightmares. Or dreams.
I have dreams, but when you have your nightmares, I have them too.
Well, sorry about that, I guess.
It's okay.
Guess it's not that bad, you weren't really there.
Well, I feel what you feel. It's unpleasant, but there's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah. Can I? I guess if they figure out something to stop those yet someone would have put it on the market. But maybe someone has some remedy to block them. I like that. Anyways, I'm sorry. Go back to sleep.
He sort of closes his one eye and he kind of moves a little closer and he puts his head on you and he says, "It's okay. I'm here."
Okay, this is not Malagos. What happened to Malagos?
He's nice to you.
He was never this nice.
He's always been nice to you. He's
I'm
just not
gonna
nice to
try
other
to
people.
determine if it's like illusion or if am I still dreaming or is it an imposter.
Sure. How are you gonna try to determine that?
I'm gonna try to poke it, and I'm gonna also try to see if there's a mask I can pull off.
There is no mask, and you poke him, and he kind of opens his eye again, and goes, "Ow!"
Sorry, and then I'm gonna pinch myself to check if I'm.
Sure, you pinch yourself; it hurts.
Okay, fuck it, and I'm gonna try to go back to sleep, snuggling
It
my
was
dragon.
actually me, Marcus, the whole time.
All right, yeah, you go back to sleep.
You can't do that, can you?
I don't think
No,
so.
no, he can only turn into humanoids, and only I think humanoids within a certain size category. So like, he can't turn into small humanoids like gnomes and stuff. He can only turn into medium-sized humanoids. But then again, I don't know. I'd have to look at the changeling thing again. So. All right. The rest of you managed to sleep without any kind of issues. Huh? No, this is just a reoccurring nightmare. You don't need to roll sanity for it. If it was something else, then you would. But yeah, the rest of you managed to sleep without any real issues. And you all wake up the next morning feeling rested and refreshed.
Okay. Since I only need to, what time do we wake up specifically? I guess Jahan only needs 4 hours. So.
Yeah, so Jahan, you can get up as early as you want, as you only need 4 hours. So as soon as you're done with your trance, you can wake up.
Okay. About what time would?
It depends on when you went to sleep, actually, I guess. If you went to sleep at like midnight, you'd be up at 4 o'clock in the morning, I guess.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's fine. That's fine by me. Is the mage tower open 24/7?
It is, yes.
Okay, cool. Then I'm going to the mage tower.
All right.
And I'm gonna spend 6 hours for spell, or 2 hours for one spell before I do.
Okay.
So,
Cool.
in that meantime, learn speak with an animate object.
Nice. So yeah, I mean, I guess it depends on when everyone else went to bed, but if they went to bed at like 10, then they'd be probably waking up by the time that Jahan is done with learning his new spell. If you went to bed later, then you'd be waking up later, obviously. So we'll start with Kazi. Kazi, you woke up the next morning. What would you like to do?
I would go back into the city, and this time I would stop by the places like apothecary, maybe the temple, maybe the mage tower, maybe some magical shop. Basically, trying to find something to block the nightmares. If they have something, a potion, a magic item, a magic ritual, does anyone have something like this that I can purchase?
So the only one that has anything, so the apothecary tells you there's no such thing. Anyone that tells you otherwise is a snake oil salesman and they're lying to you. The churches all tell you there's no such thing. But in the fine goods market, you find an individual who claims that he can sell trinkets to help with nightmares and night terrors and other objects like this to help with sleep.
And how can you prove to me that they work?
Well, it just works.
Todd
Yeah,
Howard selling.
that that sounds like bullshit, sir. No offense.
I myself use it every night, and I have not suffered from a nightmare since.
Do you do refunds?
Unfortunately, I do not.
Well, then I don't think you're very trustworthy. If you really believed in your product and that it works, you would offer free refund if I'm not satisfied.
The problem is that when I give an item to an individual, I have to attune that item to that person. It's only through this attunement that the item works.
And how does the attuning process work?
Oh, it's about a 15-minute so ritual. Nothing too long.
And how much?
Well, depends on what you like. These potions, which are single-use potions, will protect you from one night from any night terrors or things that you might have a problem with. They're 25 gold each. This talisman you would wear around your neck will protect you from any sort of night terrors or illusions that come to you at night. That only lasts a week, though. The attunement for that takes 15 minutes, and that is 100 gold.
Yeah, that's kind of useless. I can't go around. I'm adventurer, sir. I go to places. I travel a lot for a long time, and I can't
Ah,
carry a barrel of potion with me or come back to reattune the amulet every week because I'll be gone.
I see, I see. Well, in that case, he sort of shuffles around and reaches beneath his sort of thing and looks around a little cautiously and pulls out this thing that looks like kind of a necklace. And he says, "This, then, my dear, is what you require." And he places it on the table and says, "This little item was crafted in the south by a hag. She spent 7 days and 7 nights working tirelessly on this one item. This will ward off any nightmares and bad dreams that you may have, and protect you from the night terrors and from the verge. This, however, costs a lowly sum of 500 gold. But it lasts a lifetime."
Do you have like, I don't know, some certificate of authenticity?
I do, in fact, have a letter given to me by the hag herself, signed with her mark. And he sort
Okay,
of
show it.
pulls the letter out and he unfolds it very delicately, like this is a masterpiece. And he sort of lays it on the table very carefully and says, "It all tells you here the ingredients used, but I would caution you not to try to recreate it, as apparently only a hag can do so. It did cost the life of an individual, but that person did more crimes than I can dare count."
I'm gonna try to inspect the document.
Yeah, it seems like a step-by-step instruction of how to make this and how it was made, um, and what it's supposed to do. But yeah, seems legit.
Okay. I don't have 500 on me.
Oh, and he sort of pulls the necklace away, as if he's like mortified that he even showed you. "Well, I apologize, miss, but I cannot part with this precious object for less than 500.
Any job you need doing?
I'm afraid not, ma'am. Unless you're planning to go somewhere down to Burmis.
Maybe.
Well, I need it done quickly."
Now, right now I'm on my way to Eriglad.
Well, unfortunately not, miss. No, I need this done quickly.
I really don't like having those nightmares.
Well, I can assure you that this would be a guaranteed method of removing
Yeah,
those
great
pesky
for you. I
nightmares.
don't have enough gold. I have 28 platinum, and that's pretty much what I have.
He sort of thinks for a moment. 28 platinum. All right. I could give it to you for 28 platinum on the promise that when you return from your grand adventures, you pay me the full rest of the debt, as I'm assured that your nightmares will be gone.
Okay. How about this? When I come back, and I will, it's gonna take a while, but I'll come back, don't worry. Even as a ghost to hunt your ass. If it works, I'll happily pay you the rest. Well, if it doesn't, I won't kill you. I'll just politely ask for my money back.
Of course, and you said you're going to Eriglad, correct?
Yes.
Then I'm more than happy to part with this on your safe travels to Eriglad.
I'll be back. I hope you realize that. It better fucking works.
Of course. Do you hand him the gold?
Yes.
As you hand him the gold, he hands you the necklace. He says, "Come around, miss. I'll attune it to you immediately."
I'll just follow him and look at him kind of suspiciously, but also like trying to intimidate him.
Sure, roll me an intimidation check. He seems intimidated, but he still continues doing what he's doing. He takes this little vial and sort of pops the cork. It begins sprinkling it on you. It smells awful.
What is that?
Oh, this is a simple potion. It will help the attunement process.
Is that smell gonna remain for long on the amulet?
No, it's a temporary thing. I assure you. An hour or two at most.
Okay.
And then he sort of takes a few other things and lights an incense and wafts it around you. And then when he's finished, he says, "Well, that should do it."
Okay. Thanks, I guess. See ya.
All right. So yeah, you leave. He takes the money and begins packing up shop.
Yeah, I was about to ask Malagas how much you want to bet that he's not going to be here when we come back.
Malago sort of shrugs. I don't know. He seems kind of trustworthy.
No.
Wasn't it the guy that gave us the stuff before to help with our nightmares?
We never got this stuff before, I don't think.
Oh. We came here and we asked about it, right?
I don't remember, Malagas. You're confusing me right now.
Well, I think that was that Michael Griffin guy, the one that the captain said was kind of suspicious because he came in around at the same time as the Banner Law.
Oh,
And came
yeah.
and questioned him.
And everyone says he's selling fake shit. Cool. You know, fuck it. I knew this investment is most likely not gonna pay off. So I considered it a risk from the very start. I still am choosing to believe the amulet's gonna work because I really don't want to have those nightmares, and there's nothing else we can do. So fuck it. If he cheated us, which he probably did, he did. I know he did, but I'm choosing to believe he didn't. I hope he's gonna choke on that gold that I gave him.
Yeah, let's just look on the bright side. Worst case scenario, you won't have all that heavy gold in your pocket.
Yeah, exactly. And to be fair, I didn't really even remember that we were supposed to get paid.
Yeah, so it's like it didn't even matter.
Exactly. It's all good, Molligus. It's all good.
You're right.
Or maybe we're gonna meet him in Burmis in some time.
Always look on the bright
And
side
then we
of
can kick his
life.
ass. Yeah. You fancy a stroll out of the city, Molligus?
Life's a little shitty when you look at it. Sure. Let's take a stroll. If we get flagged for that, I'm gonna be so salty.
And we can like do this stroll later, because that's gonna be the second part of my day.
Some things in life are bad. They can make you really mad. Other things make you swear and curse. When you're chewing on life's gristle, don't grumble with a whistle. This will help you turn out for the best. Oh, that's a flag, yes. All right, that's enough. Yeah, so you want to take a walk on outside then? Yeah. All right. All right, so Marcus, what would you like to do day 2, if anything?
I'm gonna go over to Doc and check him out.
Oh, I feel awful, Marcus.
Yeah, that'll be the hangover.
Oh, what did you give me?
I didn't give you anything. You drank Thork's blood
Why?
for science.
Not so loud.
For science.
I will kill you and everyone you love.
That's going to be a very short list.
Yeah, they already died.
Oh, hey, I have some notes that I took.
Okay, be quiet.
Some notes of
Yes.
what you did while you were all shit faced.
Okay,
Here you go.
thank you.
And I hand him the note.
Now leave. He takes the note and burns it, and then rolls over in the bed and covers his head up with the blanket and just kind of lays there.
Hey, did you read about the part where you thought I was an awesome dude?
No, because that's a lie.
No, I think you think that I'm awesome.
Get out before I punch you.
You can't even get out of that bed.
I'll get out in a second. So is there anything else that you want to do?
Other than pestering Doc, not really.
Okay. Sounds good.
Just continuing pestering Doc.
Yeah. Okay. Lucas, anything in particular you would like to do?
I think we got fully set up here with everything that I needed to do. Yeah, no, I think we're good.
All right. Sarai, anything that you would like to do in the second day? Saying no
Well,
is fine.
Well, in the morning, just helping with the morning rush at the Lazy Maid, as per the usual now, and she's gonna let the waitress that she's been helping, well, that she asked in the first place to help, just let her know. It's like, I'll be gone in a couple of days, so I won't be able to help you out here, but I hope that won't be too much of a problem.
Oh, thank you, dear. I appreciate it.
And once she's done with that, she's going to, I guess she's just gonna just make sure. Actually, she's gonna go across to the rest of the party and ask if they need any help with anything.
Okay. Actually, let's take a quick 5-minute break here. Because I think we might have some delivery guy coming, so I just don't want that to cut into the session. So we'll take a 5-minute break. Everyone, go get something to drink, something to eat, something to snack on.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right.
And we'll pick up from Sarai's. Hello. Now we're back from our break. Hope everyone had a good pee break or drink break or whatever it is you did on your break. So yeah, we'll go ahead and continue where we were at with Sarai. So Sarai, what did you want to do?
She is going to go around to the other party members and ask them if they need any help with anything during their day.
All right. So Sarai comes to you and asks if you need any help, Kazi.
Oh, no. I'm gonna go try to find something to block the nightmares.
Nightmares. What kind of nightmares?
Well, the usual. Every Friday night nightmare.
Please, I want to make sure it's not something bad.
You don't have the nightmares? Most people have the nightmares.
I'll let you deal with that in your own then. But if you ever need anything, let me know.
Thanks. And then she's gonna go waste her entire money from the amulet.
Her entire money.
All the one money. All right. So Markus, Sarai would come to you and ask if you need anything.
Oh yes, you can help me pester Doc. He seems to be having a hangover right now.
I don't think that's quite the sort of help I'm hoping to do. But thank you.
Not even for science.
For science, no. But thank you. You have your fun.
I will.
Get out.
Get out of bed and make me get out.
I'll get out of bed when you leave.
I press the digitation like a wooden stick and start poking him with it.
I will end you.
No, you won't, because then that'd be murder.
I don't care. I'll get away with it. I know just where to put your body with the werewolf.
Continues poking him with stick.
All right, so Sarai goes to Lucas, but I don't know if Lucas is back yet. Lucas, you back
Sorry,
yet?
I'm back. Yes, sorry. I was muted.
It's okay. So yeah, Sarai would come to you and ask if you need any help.
I think I have everything set up, but I appreciate the offer. Did you want to do some more training, out of curiosity?
Training? I'm sorry.
Well,
but
you seemed kind of interested in learning a little bit about soul, but I
Oh,
didn't
that.
want to step forward.
Well, I don't think I'm the cleric type. Like the type that he wants. Tell me, how familiar are you with the teachings of soul? I imagine quite.
I suppose you could say I'm more open-minded than most. I understand that not everyone in the order is as flexible, I suppose is a good word, as I am with it, but I understand that a lot of people are more strict.
Hmm. But soul himself as an entity, what's his what do you know of his stances on forgiveness?
That's a tricky topic with soul, as their deity of the sun and of light. There's obviously room in there for forgiveness, but there is also a strictness to strike out evil out of the world. So it
Hmm.
depends on your outlook and your intent, I suppose.
It's always more complicated. Thank you, Lucas. If you do need anything, please let me know.
Absolutely, I appreciate it.
All right. So next, Thork would you would find Sarai approaches you and asks you the same question if you need anything.
Can I get a drink to chase off this high there? He's fucking pounded.
I think your liver might thank me if I didn't do that.
Yeah, it'll do whatever it has to do. Just go and get another drink.
I'll slide a silver over to him. Just one.
Awesome.
I'll continue on to, I guess, Jahan then, who'd be next.
Oh, that's right. We keep bumping into each other. Here for
Well,
more study.
Here to see if I can help with anything. I've already completed my spell. Just wanted to see if there's anything I could do to be of some use.
Oh, last time you tried to help me, you got a bit of a headache, didn't you?
All better. Just,
Well,
is everything alright with that ring, by the way?
I'm not sure. Last night, I found myself almost putting it on, and I didn't even know that I was doing it. And feel like that's a concern. There's some old elven magic that I knew of that I knew I could research here, and I figured the best way to find out something's intent is to ask it. Don't you agree?
No. No. Especially if depending on the person. In fact, for some people, if you ask them directly, you'll get the exact opposite of the truth.
I suppose, but you can't tell me that looking at this ring that it's not filled with history.
History.
I don't want to take too much drastic measures just yet, but I'm curious to see if it'll humor questions.
You're not
In
going to put
fact,
it
I've
on,
just.
are you?
Not yet, but feel
Perhaps
free
we
to
should
sit
put it
with me while I.
someplace safe at night to keep a recurring episode from happening.
You're probably right.
Here,
But
let me help you research this. Two heads are better than one, right?
sure, you can take a look at this.
Right. Well, I suppose that's what I'm going to spend my day doing. is researching this ring or anything similar to it.
All right, roll me a investigation check, I guess.
I also have the spell that I was working on. It's called Read Object from Deep Magic.
Okay, what does that do?
By handling an object and reading the psychic oh no, wrong one. Wrong one. Speak with an animate object. I can awaken a spirit that resides within an inanimate object and ask it up to 3 yes or no questions. The spirit is otherwise indifferent towards you unless you have done something to help or
Okay. And that has to be an inanimate object, correct?
it does.
Okay.
And I can
With
cast
that
a ritual,
18,
so
with that 18, you find a lot of stuff about rings, but none of the descriptions match this one.
Okay.
So while she's investigating that, I'll perform the ritual to see if I can speak with it.
All right, as you form the ritual and cast it on the object, nothing seems to happen.
Okay. I'll try to ask it a question anyways. Can you hear me?
The ring sort of vibrates on the table, but it doesn't do anything else.
You saw that, right? I'm not insane.
The look up from her books.
Are you? Can you do that again? I asked the ring.
It sort of vibrates on the table again.
Right. Well, a normal ring wouldn't do that, would it?
No, it
Right.
would not. This is not making me trust it anymore.
I was hoping I'd be able to give something from a simple spell, but it seems I'll need to go into the archives to seek something a bit more powerful. It's going to cost a lot of materials. Feel free to hang around. You can help me find the spell. Read object, I believe it's called. It'll take several hours, but if you've got the time, I welcome your company.
I do have the time.
All right, so that's what you guys are going to be doing then.
For the next 4 hours. Yep.
Woo!
All right, so we'll come back to you at the end of the day then. Thork, anything in particular you would like to do?
Drinking the drink, the offset drink isn't helping. Surprisingly. So, I'll go for a walk.
All right, where are you going?
I'll go for never again.
All right. As you begin going through the woods, you notice that they're oddly quiet. Sounds of animals and birds non-existent.
Perfect, it's already quieter than Lazy Maid. Not like try and sleep the rest of the day off.
All right. So you find a nice little cozy spot, curl up, take a nap. Nothing interesting happens except for you have horrific nightmares of your werewolves being attacked by the Black Bloods, of you being attacked by the Black Bloods, fighting, dying.
Cool.
You wake up with one lull of exhaustion.
So are these nightmares more common outside of the cities, or?
Yes.
Can I use inexhaustible to negate it?
What does that do? No, because that would be when you finish your next long rest.
Right, cool, never.
So because you slept outside, that's what got you the exhaustion. So next time you take a long rest, as long as you don't get an exhaustion, you'll be fine.
Fuck, can I sleep in this damn place?
But yeah, by the time you wake up, it'll be probably late in the evening. So by the time Jahan's done with whatever Jahan was wanting to do. So yeah, Jahan, you've researched this spell for probably 4 hours or so.
Okay. And so I'll go ahead and share the spells. Take a look.
Okay.
It took quite a while. Let's see what we can find, Sarai. And I'll spend 11 minutes to cast it as a ritual. See what happens.
Okay. So. Ooh. You find in the name of the ring is Sorrow Song.
Okay. Is that all I'm able to do from it?
You get an image of the last wielder. 1 second. He looks like this. An elf with a bow and arrow. As you
Not gonna
start
lie.
diving into the emotional state of the creature that used it last, you start getting images and pictures of possibly their last moments. But it's very shaky and it's hard to see. You know that this ring is significant. That it is a ring passed down from Aegis to Aegis.
Strange.
You would know that this man that you see before you in the sort of image that you get was an Aegis. And roll me a history check. So,
Ooh.
Jahan, you would recall that the Aegis before your Aegis was named Gale.
Shit.
He retired and passed the mantle down to the current Aegis, your master, your teacher. Upon retiring, he became a simple hunter. He was one of the few elves that had the capability of traveling through the Feywild unhindered. Probably one of the best. He went in more times than anyone else has ever gone in, and came out more times than anyone else has come out. He is probably known as one of the most skilled Aegises of Eriglad, having fought in many wars against the orcs and the ogres and the creatures of the Feywild. And in fact, one of his 1 second sneeze feels like it's coming on. Pineapple. It was his scouting that sort of prepared the city from the last war. You would know that the current Aegis has been Aegis for probably like maybe 100 years or so. But you would know that Gale was Aegis for about 1,000, and that he retired an old man and settled down to become sort of just a merchant, selling skins and whatever else he could do. But you know that his story doesn't end happily. One day, he came back to Araglad and murdered his entire family in cold blood.
Nice. Okay.
But you would realize that he didn't seem to. That this ring doesn't have that as his last moment. It's something else. You saw something else, but you couldn't quite see it. But you do get this feeling that maybe if you put the ring on, something might happen. Beneficial.
Really?
Beneficial, perhaps.
Oh, okay, then I'll drop my concentration.
All right.
That's a
Well,
lot to take in.
I hope it went better than mine.
It's incredible, actually. This ring belonged to an Aegis long before the one that currently resides within Araglad. I almost feel unworthy having it in my hand.
Maybe we should return it to your master.
Maybe. Sarai,
Yes.
do you... I think I'm going to be here for a while longer. Doing some more research. You're free to accompany the rest of the party if you wish.
The rest of the party doesn't need any help.
Then I suppose there's no getting around it. Forgive me, Sarai, but I feel the need to wear it. Will you
You feel the
watch over me?
temptation.
Will you be sure nothing bad happens? And if something does, to protect the party?
I can promise to do my best. I can't say how much I advise against this.
There's so much history in this ring.
History? The Nine Hells have history.
History isn't always a bad thing.
It's not always good.
No.
I can see. I know the look on that face. Look at someone who's already given in, who's going to do it whether it's wise or not. Go on. She sort of crosses her arms and sits back. Please do it in front of someone you can trust.
Alright, little ring. Do your worst. And go ahead. I'll slide it on. I'll do it.
All right.
Almost too eagerly.
You slide the ring on. As soon as it's on,
I explode.
your vision blurs, and much like when Sarai touched it, You feel this pressure slam into your head, and you instantly feel this massive headache. It feels like something large is pressing down onto your consciousness. And it gets worse and worse and worse. It feels like your skull is going to crack like an egg under the pressure. And then it sort of stops. The pain continues, but you see visions through eyes that are not yours. You're running through the woods, leaping over a log, darting behind a tree, and you've got a big sort of smile on your face as you hear something behind you, large, snapping and breaking trees. You can hear a voice in your head. Damn it, Gale, I told you this was not a good choice. Gillenor is not going to be pleased that you're running through his territory so readily. Turn left! And you jart to the left, quick, heading further into the woods, it seems. As you run through the woods, you can hear a roar that sort of echoes behind you. Sounds like thunder, and the ground vibrates. You can hear roots of trees being uprooted, and you can hear the screams of the dead, long since past, but forced to remain slaves. The hairs on the back of your neck stand up on end as you see familiar faces in the shadows, friends and family lost to the Fae. You hear voices familiar calling to you, asking you for you to save them. You run until you feel like your lungs are going to burst, and a moment later, you're free, in a clearing on a road. You hear the roar echo as if it's 1,000 miles away, and then it is gone. Then there's a flash of bright light, so bright that you feel like your very eyes are being burned from the skulls. The feeling of needing to vomit. And then you feel dizzy as the room is spinning. The pain in your mind intensifies as you feel yourself being pulled forward as if by some unseen hand, dragging you further down a path. And the light fades and you see that you're no longer in the Feywilds, no longer on the road, but in a vast, lost, wooded city. You hear the sound of children playing, and you see many other elves. You recognize this as Eriglad, but to your eyes it is different. Not quite the same as it is now. You can see a beautiful elven woman. She's tall, regal, dark hair that flows down to her hips. She has green eyes, and she is pregnant. You see a soft but also concerned smile on her face as she walks to you and kisses you softly. Good luck, my husband, on your hunt, but please do not play in your woods for too long. I fear I'll lose you, as I lost your brother. And she hugs you. The voice that comes from you is not yours. Says, as long as you live, I shall never be lost, my love, for you are my guiding star. And a soft chuckle echoes in your mind as you hear another voice, the one before that told you to go left. As long as you have me, you mean, you should never be lost. You smile and reply in your mind, of course, Sorrowsong, my old friend, but we shan't let her know that. As you set out with your gear into the Feywilds once more. Another bright flash, you feel yourself being pulled forward yet again, the pain almost unbearable. The light clears, and you're standing in a clearing. Behind you, the city of Eriglad. In front of you, an army that boggles the mind. The numbers go beyond your sight as you can see hundreds of thousands of orcs, goblins, trolls, even some giants. You're sore, tired, and covered in wounds. an arrow in your gut as you pull it out and let it fall to the floor. Standing next to you are other elves, an army of your own, but you are clearly outnumbered. You draw your bow and fire, killing four orcs in a single blow. Another shot, 3 fall. For every foul creature you seem to slay, 2 more seem to take its place. The voice in your head speaks, "Killing these vermin is fun enough sport, but I feel that you're at a disadvantage." A voice from behind you says, "Archers, fall back! Let our shields protect you!" You feel a wave of anger as you do not need protection. You're not a child, but the anger passes as you fall back and take a few orcs out in the process. You see a man step forward. He's young, sort of brownish hair. His hair goes to about his shoulders. He has a brown beard. He is clearly not elven, but as you look upon him, you have immense respect. And you see sort of in the sky a shadow, and then flames take out hundreds of orcs. This man, you know the name, though you've never heard it in your life, is Shane. He looks at you and gives you a little wink. "Don't worry, lads. We'll make sure to clean up some of these, but we'll leave plenty for you." And he rushes forward and draws his sword and his shield. And as he sort of runs forward, you watch as he takes a step and just almost seems to vanish. As his speed is incredible, slicing the head off of one orc, then another, then another. You see him maybe 40 orcs in. They're trying to attack him, but his shield just blocks the blows easily enough. And then another blinding flash of light, and you're pulled forward again. It's been days, perhaps weeks, maybe even months. It's hard to say. You wake to assaults. You go to sleep to the cries of your friends and loved ones. The fighting, the killing, this war seems unending. There's hope. The dragon rider, known as Shane, has gotten aid from a man named Dragon Carpathia, and the humans are sending reinforcements. You're putting on your armor, waiting for the call of the humans to begin the attack. Another flash of light. You see massive piles of bodies, not only orcs, but also elves and goblins and humans. You're tired, but a man slaps you on the back and you look up to see the man with the brown hair and the brown beard. The man you know is Shane Blackmore. "You've done well, lad. I've seen enough shooting in my day that I can tell that you're going to be a world-famous archer. Let's not get you killed on the battlefield." You respond with, "They probably would have promoted if I have a better understanding of how the hierarchy works." He sort of smiles and says, "Well, perhaps even still." The two of you begin fighting side by side. You notch 3 arrows and let them loose. As one orc swings at your head, he blocks the blow and takes his head. The two of you jab at each other with quicks. But at the end of the day, the two of you have fought well together. Another blinding flash. You feel yourself pulled forward again. The pain in your head doubles. It's becoming to a point where you feel like if this continues, you might die. You are now on an old road. You limp a bit from an old wound as you're heading to Edgeville. You bring furs and meat to trade. You're looking forward to selling your goods, then traveling to see your old friend and war buddy Shane. As you arrive in the city, you sell your goods and begin to head towards the gate when you hear the horns. As a warning you know all too well, a sign of an attack. In your minds you hear, "Orcs? Goblins? I wouldn't worry. The city is well protected, but perhaps we should find out what's happening and assist if we can." Another flash of light. You're sore, wounded even. These monsters you face have caught you by surprise. They are faster than you expected them to be. You cut down a dozen or so in an attempt to protect the people, but the people of Edgeville, but in your old age, you made a slip once or twice. They managed to get you, not fatally, but if you continue to slip up, that may change. These creatures are odd. Pale, white, hairless, clothless, genderless, mutant creatures. But you saw that they seemed to be led by a man, a tall man in black. Black hair and black eyes. He moved amongst these white creatures, almost commanding them like an orchestra. The dark man walks through the streets as these creatures flow out, tearing into people around you. You know that if you could make a decisive strike against him, these creatures may turn mindless. As you stand in the street before him, he cocks his head to the side. A wry smile appears on his face. You feel compelled to flee, but in your mind you hear, "Stand and fight. This must be the leader of the army and these monsters. End him, and we can go find our friend." He sends a few of the abominations at you. You cut them down with ease. But as you move closer to him, your body goes numb as you see how quick he moves. It reminds you of Shane. He takes a step, and he's not there anymore. You feel immense pain in your stomach as this black blade goes through you. Another slip up. You underestimated him, but this time you're prepared. You shift and deflect the next blow. He looks somewhat surprised. But as the strike hits your block, your blade shatters, your arm aches at the pain, and you feel cracks of bone. Your second blade, however, manages to keep the blow from hitting you in any vital spots. The voice of this creature speaks. Now, old man, perhaps you should just step aside. You're a little too old for this, aren't you? Risking your life for innocent people." He sort of twists into a smile as he launches a flurry of blows at you. Each strike feels like a hurricane as wind rushes past, but you manage to keep up. He's fast, much faster than you. He's strong, much stronger than you. But there's a way. There has to be. Every enemy has a weakness. You just have to find an opening. Deflect, dodge, whatever it takes, but you have to find that opening. You feel this intense feeling that if you fail, the city is doomed. Blow after blow, your old, frail body begins to tire. You feel sluggish, your arms not moving as fast as you command them to. You get sliced a few times. You can handle it. A while later, you realize that this fight is no longer winnable. It's most likely not even survivable. But you have to last until more people show. Someone, one of the five, Shane even. You're sure he must have heard the horns. He'll arrive any moment on the back of that dragon and breathe the fire upon this thing and end its life. As you're fighting, however, you can hear this small voice in the back of your head. This creature seems to be manipulating your mind almost, convincing you that you've lost. You hear another voice, louder. "Listen to me, Gale, I beg of you. Do not fall to this darkness. Hold on, boy." And you can feel strength begin to surge through you as you block one blow that would have taken your head off. As you continue to fight, struggling to keep your eyes open, the voice continues to command you. Hold, Gale, just hold. Do not fall. Do not give in. Do not die on me. We have lived through too much. You do your best, but the cold presses in. The icy cold darkness envelops you. The last thing you see is Shane Blackmore as you collapse into darkness. The familiar warm voice in your head, mind, fills you. You did well, Gale. Rest. You held long enough. The voice is cut off, almost as if you were removed, and you hear another voice, a black, inky voice drift in. You are strong. I will be adding you to my collection. And then the pressure in your head mounts to what must be the crescendo. And you take 29 points of psychic damage. But you are no longer having visions. You are now back in your own body. The ring is on your hand. The tar and the varnish, the things that made it look so old, gone. It now looks like a brand new ring. And you are sitting there at the table. Your head aches, but you hear the sort of familiar voice that was in the back of your mind before. Are you all right, lad?
Just catching my breath is all.
Sort of silence for a moment. And then the voice says, well, you certainly handled that better than the last one.
Jahan, are you all right?
Oh. Splitting headache.
With my detect magic, do I see any sort of effects on him now that weren't on him before?
Yeah, as you're sort of detect magicking him, you see what looks like not necessarily anything bad, but there's like a sort of shimmer around him now that the ring is on. It's sort of a deep glow of purple. You wouldn't necessarily be able to tell what the magic is because the ring has magic on it that prevents that, but you can tell that there's something on him.
Well, it's certainly affecting you.
I was right. There is a lot of history on this ring.
That was never in doubt.
I think I need to lie down.
Let me help you to your room.
Thank you.
So, Jahan, as you're sort of stand up, I am going to be making some adjustments to your sheet. So you now have an intelligence of 24.
Holy fuck.
God damn, dude.
And yeah, that's it.
I'll take 29 damage for 24 intelligence any day. Shit.
As long as you have the ring on, your intelligence is 24.
All right. Did you recall what my intelligence was beforehand by any chance?
It was 19.
Okay.
The ring sort
Big
of
buff.
talks to you as you're walking. I apologize for the display.
It's quite all right. You answered a lot of questions that were lost to history.
Do you know who that was?
stories. Gale. I remember the name. What? How did you end up in possession of King Dragon?
When Gale fell to that creature, Shane Blackmore arrived on the back of his dragon, as did King Dragon. The two of them fought against this creature, and when it retreated, King Dragon found me and took me. Gale had cast me off when he changed.
You're safe now. I got you. Sarai,
Yes.
will you stay? Just in case I need anything.
You have my word.
Oh, thank you.
As you,
Well,
sorry, I was just gonna add. As you lay down, she gets out her book that she keeps with her, and writes in there, "Helped Jahan with his ring," and closes the book.
awesome. So, yeah, you can ask the ring any questions that you may want to ask it, and it'll answer you anything that it knows. You know that the ring is named Sorrow Song, and you would also know that anyone that puts the ring on has to experience the life of the previous wielder.
Oh, shit. I better look good.
So, yeah, you would have found that out by what you did. So we'll pause there for now. Kazi, anything else that you want to do?
Yeah, funny you ask, cause I was gonna go for a stroll out of the city to talk to Shade through my amulet.
You don't have to go out of the city to do that.
Yeah, I just don't want to be anywhere around people when I do that, because it's supposed to be intimate moments. Because I'm talking to my dead stepfather, so it makes me look like a weak person, so no one can see it.
Okay.
Aw.
So yeah, you go out of the city. You find a random sort of spot to
And
sit.
no, it wasn't even random. I was gonna like head in the direction of Feywild Woods to like at least see them on the horizon,
Okay.
if it's possible, and because I was kind of gonna ask him about it.
I mean, it's gonna take you a little while to walk there, but yeah, you can do that.
I have entire day, so I can walk like for a few hours, and then walk back a few hours.
Sure. Yeah, if you're fine with walking like 4 hours there and 4 hours back.
Yeah, I assume it only took me like an hour to buy the amulet, so I have
Yeah.
the entire rest of the day.
Okay. Yeah. So you go find a nice spot to sort of sit and look at the Feywild, and you touch your amulet. It glows.
Hey, you ever been to Feywild?
Into them, you mean?
Yeah, through them, into them.
I've been to Eriglad, if that's what you mean.
No, I mean few different things at the same time. So just Eriglad, you never been through the Feywilds, never got lost in them, never had to go into them.
I was guided in one time by an elf I knew.
Yeah, I'm about to go there, and they're supposedly worse than the Dark Woods, and I I didn't like the Dark Woods last time I went there.
An old friend of mine took me through the Feywilds once.
What you were going there for?
Uh, something for the Dragon Riders, though it's nothing that you should concern yourself about. If you don't have a guide, you should never go into the Feywilds. They're dangerous.
Oh, we have a guide. At least he says he can be a guide.
A guide into the woods or a guide through the woods to
Through
Eriglad?
the woods to Eriglad. The plan is never. I don't think we're planning on ever actually going into the woods, but I have a feeling it's gonna happen regardless what we plan, because life seems to be this way.
Well, I would avoid it unless you have someone that can guide you through.
Do you know anything more about the piece of the map that's in the Eriglad?
I'm afraid not. Each piece of the map was taken by a different writer. They all had their own methods of what they wanted to do.
Do you know which rider took it to Eriglad?
I believe it was Sandra.
Okay. Anything more about her that you can recall?
She was an elven woman, originally from Eriglad herself. You know elves. They're very secretive. I didn't know much about her or where she came from. Even in my time, we weren't on the friendliest of terms with the elves.
Sounds like a piece of cake to find it then.
If I were you, I would seek out the queen of the elves.
Yeah, we're gonna have to do it anyways, kinda. The guide wants to help her. I think he explained more, but I wasn't really listening, to be fair.
You never listen, Kazi.
Because they were talking about politics or something. That's boring.
As a writer, that is your job.
What kind of a rider I am if I can't even mount my dragon because he's a baby? I'm sorry, Malgus, you're not a baby. You're a growing, blooming young man, but you're still small. So,
He will reach the size that you need soon enough.
but politics are dumb and boring.
But they are your job all the same.
When did that happen?
As soon as you took the burden of being a writer,
Oh, and I didn't really take it. The dude gave me the egg and left.
you were chosen, as we all were.
Ugh. Okay, whatever. I'll listen next time. I'll try. It's really hard. I feel like there's a condition that when it's not something I care about, my brain just turns off after a few seconds, and I don't really
Yes.
control it.
I know, I tried to beat it out of you, but it was too hard. I should have done a better job. If I had more time, perhaps I would have been more successful.
Tell you what, when I can actually ride Malagos and I'm a real dragon rider, then I can give it them.
Perhaps you should practice before.
Practice giving it them or riding?
Practice giving a damn.
Well, I'm doing it, am I not? I was gonna do it anyways, even before King Drigid fucked me over with the favor, asshole.
Yes. You should be careful what you ask for.
You say things and like I know that I'm supposed to do some things or not supposed to do them, but it kind of gets lost in practice. Like, look, I got this amulet today, and she like shows one amulet to the other amulet. I don't think it works. I feel very strongly that it was a scam, but I gave him all my gold. So, regardless, you see the problem?
How many times have I told you before, Kazi, that if something seems too good, then it's not real?
Yeah, but see, I heard your voice in my head saying, "Don't do it. It's a scam. It's stupid." But I did anyways, cause I really don't like those nightmares, and there's nothing else I can try. So, meh.
You could try to meditate. Center yourself and calm yourself before you sleep.
You're funny.
I know it is a far-fetched idea to you, but meditation can calm your mind and center yourself.
You know what? I do know one dude. He's like a monk or something. Maybe he'll teach me how to meditate.
Perhaps.
Okay, this was cool. We talked for 5 minutes. I walked here 4 hours, and now I gotta head back if I want to sleep in bed. So, good talk, Shane.
You don't have anything else you want to ask him?
Right now? No.
Okay. Yeah, so you'll head back. Anyone else want to do anything else during this day?
Marcus will probably stop poking.
Okay.
And go back downstairs.
All right.
Vampires occasionally get hangovers.
When I'm
Alright.
back, I'm gonna barge into Doctor's room. Hey, Doc, you gotta teach me how to meditate.
Shh.
What? What?
Be
What?
quiet.
What the fuck's wrong with you?
My head hurts.
Alright, you were pretty pissed last night. Seriously, a vampire with a hangover? It's like... It's a bedtime almost. You're still not better? Jesus, you're such a wuss. And she's gonna close the door and leave.
Close the door. Lucas, anything else that you would like to do before you sleep?
Yeah, actually, Lucas is going to spend a majority of the day speaking and training a bit more with Captain Vincel. He's going to be informing him also that they're going to be leaving for Everglad here, and just asking for some information or anything that would be good to know.
Awesome. So you're asking him what exactly? If there's anything that he knows that might be helpful?
Anything that he knows that might be helpful, or and I probably won't be back for a while. Is there any kind of training that I could keep up here?
Well, I would spar with the big one. Kazi, I think her name was. She's the champion of the tournament. I'm sure that she'll be a good training partner.
You know, I actually haven't asked her if she would want to. It's probably a good idea. Have you ever been near Everglad?
One time, during the last war,
What was that like?
there was more orcs and goblins than I can remember. They had giants there too. 40 feet tall, some of them. They threw trees like javelins. That's how
Sounds
I lost my
imposing.
arm, and my hand, and my
To a
eye.
tree javelin.
Uh, you'd be surprised.
I'd be pretty damn surprised if a tree came falling out of the sky.
There were dozens of these large giants, and they just hurled them at us. But it was a nightmare. We attacked from the rear. The elves attacked from their city. Not many elf casualties. There were a lot of casualties on our side. The dwarves joined us too. They came from Mirgrim.
I've never been over that way. Are they good fighters?
Dwarves? Aye. They're small shits, but they can cut down anyone. I watched a swarm of dwarves take down a giant.
I bet it's been a sight to see.
Aye. It was impressive.
I had a vision last night.
Did you now? He says as he sort of pours a cup of tea.
Soul visited me.
That's good. Or was it?
It was encouraging, but I think the main lesson to be learned here is not to be so damn prideful over everything.
Oh, that's what I told you, isn't it?
Yes, it seems that it's being hammered into me pretty good here. He kind of chuckles as he sits down.
You have a hard head. Takes a while.
All the better to get through a battlefield.
That's right. Well, you're a good lad.
I appreciate that. You're a good teacher.
I try.
Isn't that what everybody does? I always feel like that I could be doing more, though.
Well, you will.
In time. I think I'm finally understanding how I need to pace myself. Keep striving.
As long as you never stop. You'll get there
Always,
eventually.
always keep growing until you become that burning inferno.
There you have it. Well, I have a few reports to do. Everything seems to have calmed down since everything happened, now that the tournament is over.
I see. Well, we'll be heading off, I think, tomorrow morning, so I'll be seeing you around. Thank you.
One other thing.
Yes?
I didn't pay you for this, but I got news today that the village of Dunwick might have had a monster killed.
Oh. Yeah, I suppose I didn't know if there was a bounty out on that or not.
Well, there was an old bounty here. He pulls out a piece of paper. It just sort of fell into disrepair, I suppose. It was a bounty for the previous attendees that went out to kill this creature. It seems that they didn't do their job proper, so the bounty here is 500 gold, so that's what I'll pay you. And he gives you 500 gold.
Appreciate it. And when Lucas gets back, he'll split it with the full party.
Okay,
Yay!
there you go. Alright, so Sarai, anything else that you would like to do on your last day in town?
She is going to watch over Jahan, make sure he does not go crazy from the ring.
Alright. Yeah, Jahan seems fine now that that's passed. Thork, anything in particular you would like to do on your last day in the town?
Can I go and look for an item?
Sure, what item you want to find?
Fuck, I can't pronounce it.
I don't think they have that item, cazo.
The thingy of enclosure.
Ah.
Parrot out of wound closure.
That's it. Begins with a P, but fuck if I can.
Yeah, you can find that.
Cool. What would it be? Mailers? Or
Aye, yeah. No, it would be the magic item shop, which I think is the marketplace.
marketplace? Cool. We could go and try and get that for however much it costs.
Yeah, you'll get it for whatever the price in the Discerning Merchant's price guide is.
Yeah. I've no got access to the.
I got it right here, actually. Peridot of wound closure
I think it's
is
450.
375 gold.
Okay, well I was close.
Sound. 375, so. Cool, they bought. Awesome.
Oh yeah, so you can get that.
Cool, thanks.
No problem.
So can I go?
Phew! Excuse me. Jahan, anything that you would like to do as your last day in the city?
Nope. Just gonna rest up. When I do, I'm gonna switch out one of my spells. Prepare a different spell.
Alright. So, one last time, anyone that wants to do anything, this is your last moment because the next day in the morning you are going to be leaving Edgeville and on your way to Eriglad.
I'm gonna go to Lucas and ask him if he can help me out with being a test subject for this new spell that I came up with.
Oh, okay. Do I need to be outside or something, or can I just
Oh
be
no,
here?
we can do it here.
Okay. Fire away, I suppose.
And I cast that spell that I talked to you about, Gil, Talking Heads.
Mm-hmm.
So, Lucas, if you're going to resist this, I'm going to need you to make a charisma saving throw.
All right. I think that he would just be doing a normal one, so I'll just roll that. I'm pretty sure that's a fail for you.
Yeah, that is definitely a fail. So, for the next minute, you cannot tell the truth and must answer all questions and statements directed at you.
I just completely lie.
Yeah.
What?
All right. Okay. I don't feel any different. What the hell was that? Everything is fine.
Is that a lie?
Asking you a series of questions, starting with
It absolutely is not a lie.
I ask you, who's your favorite god?
Obviously, the Mistress of Dark. No, I'm wearing her crest right on my chest. Of course. He just kind of looks at you bewildered.
What have you done to me?
What have I done to myself?
It's just keep laughing. Okay. Come outside with me.
You're
And,
roboting here.
come outside with me.
No, I absolutely will not come outside with you.
All right. And I ask you to try to point at the sun. But
Points
one of the
points at the ground.
exactly. If the target tries to communicate in a non-verbal manner, the target will perform it falsely, so points in an incorrect direction. So that's the sun. It's very dirty today.
Jahan will walk outside. Good morning, Lucas. How are you doing?
Fucking terrible.
Oh,
Just kinda-
sorry to hear that.
You were the absolute worst piece of shit I have ever met.
Okay.
And then he looks genuinely hurt that came out of his mouth.
Okay.
Absolutely a fucking piece of shit. I hate your guys.
All right.
The thing I want you to do is try to cast a spell that has either verbal or somatic components. Any spell.
Yeah, I can do. He pulls out a small piece of parchment and he attempts to cast Shield of Faith on himself.
Okay, I'm going to need you to make me another charisma saving throw.
Okay.
Unless you decide to, fail it.
Oh,
I say I fail.
Okay.
so close to that 20.
So instead of what you actually cast, you now roll on the wild magic table.
Oh no.
I should have stayed inside.
Okay, I'll roll it.
All right. I was going to do 2 T10s, but go for it.
Yeah, because I actually have to find the right table for it. Oh, I have it here.
Let's go, potted plant.
Not fireball. At least you're outside.
Burns down whole tavern.
Cast levitate on yourself.
Oh, okay. No. That's not so bad.
And with that, as you cast levitate on yourself, that is where we're gonna wrap session today.
Where are you going?
I must go.
As
My
you're
people need
floating
me.
into the
I
air,
must go,
screaming about how you
yeah.
do not need any help whatsoever.
I don't need any help at all.
Everything is okay.
This is absolutely fine.
Yeah, I actually made this spell.
Very fun.
So yeah, we will wrap here and we'll pick up this session next week. So yeah, I hope that you guys all enjoyed this heavily role-played session. Next week may not be so heavily role-played as we will be mostly probably doing some combat.
It'd be nice to do some comment where we're working together.
Doom music intensifies.
Dun dun dun. Yeah, because I expect the next couple of sessions might be some role play, but I do feel like it's going to be quite a bit of actual combat. So yeah, we'll see what happens, but I hope
well,
you all
random
had
encounter
fun.
tables. Yay!
Yay! All right, guys. Well, so yeah, we'll hopefully be back next week. And just really quickly, I don't know if any of you have anything that you want to announce or make any kind of announcements for anything that you guys are doing, but we can do that now if you want. So, Kaza, do you have anything you want to announce? No? Okay. What about you, Jahan? Anything that you want to announce?
No, not that I'm aware of.
All right.
Thanks for watching.
Sarai, anything that you want to announce?
I would like to announce I would like everyone to have a wonderful day.
Yay! Markus, anything that you want to announce?
No.
Okay. Well, that's fine. You don't have to announce anything. I'm obviously Gillinor. I do the issue and do that stuff. We decided to do this stream, so I hope all of you guys like that one. We're gonna keep trying to do this one. And I have the Monday game that's being planned, the homebrew one that Jake's gonna be a part of. So yeah, that'll be fun. And Mary is our artist. She's the next one up. She won't say anything about her art, but it's amazing, and she's got great art, and I love her art, and she's amazing. And yeah. So, Mary, do you have any announcements that you'd like to make?
No. Thanks everyone for watching, playing, and DMing.
Yeah. Jake, do you have any announcents you want to
And
make?
running the stream.
Yeah, I'm
Oh
gonna
yeah,
just,
you're also the one that runs the stream, so thank you
yeah,
for running the
Mary running
stream.
stream. I'm just going to announce a thank you to Mary for making Lucas here, the fantastic boy, and I'm looking forward to being a part of some other games here. I hope everyone enjoyed.
Yeah, we're gonna also have a Thursday streamed game too, so hopefully we can
Yeah.
have everyone watch that. So yeah, thank you all, and have a great day.
All right. See you, everyone.
Bye.
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 Bye.